all offenses prosecuted in the name of the Republic. Pay attention to Republic. And so when the OSP goes to court and charges somebody, you hear the name, the Republic versus so and so. You don't hear OSP versus so and so. You hear the Republic versus so and so. That happens to the other institutions as well. So the law is the 1992 Constitution is saying that all offenses prosecuted in the name of the Republic of Ghana shall be in the suit or at the suit of the Attorney General. And pay attention to the second leg of this particular sentence, and that is where the issue of the OSP falls. Or any person authorized by him, as the Attorney General, in accordance with any law. So the Attorney General can authorize you to do this on his behalf in accordance with law. So that is why the AG can tell the police that prosecute cases on behalf of the Attorney General, can tell you that prosecute cases on the behalf of, without that, you cannot go to court and prosecute. But let's look at what the OSP Act also say. Director, let's look at the next one. And this is the OSP Act. And we are paying attention to Section 4, subsection 2, and it's related. And you shall look at it. The objective is saying that, listen, the object of the OSP is to, one, investigate and prosecute. Investigate. It didn't say investigate alone. It said investigate and prosecute.
Right.
So there's a conflict of interest here. The 1992 Constitution is saying that the Attorney General is the only institution that can prosecute. And if you want to prosecute, other than the Attorney General, you need the AG's prosecutorial powers. But the OSP Act is saying that the OSP can prosecute specific cases of alleged or specified suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses. So that is why the OSP will investigate cases, then file charges against accused person. But so this one and the 1992 Constitution are conflicting each other. So now, how do we resolve that? And I know that the law says that once you have such situation, the 1992 Constitution, it's always paramount. Because this law was given birth to by the 1992 Constitution. Because powers have been given to institutions to enact their laws that are consistent with the 1992 Constitution. So it was on the basis of this that the applicant realized that, no, look at all the cases that are before the court and say that the OSP didn't have the prosecutorial authorization from the Attorney General to prosecute me. So he filed for court warrant to come and show on what authority you are prosecuting me. And yesterday, Justice John Eugene Nyante Nedu was of the view that if you put these two provisions, the Article 88(4) and Section 4, subsection 2 of the OSP Act, definitely the 1992 Constitution will have to prevail. And so cases that have been initiated or are pending or have been filed by the Office of the Special Prosecutor that they have not sought the permission or the AG has not given them that prosecutorial authorization should be taken over by the Attorney General. And all such cases are declared void. And that's the word the court used, void. A cost of 15,000 cedis was awarded against the OSP.
Right.
And then I heard people say about the fact that, but there are cases at the Supreme Court, and then the fact that they made that application before the High Court judge. One High Court judge, the trial judge stayed it, and another High Court judge has dealt with the matter when it was before the Supreme Court. We'll get to know more about it. But the OSP has issued a statement and said that
they are
taking steps to, as it were, challenge that. The OSP statement is not saying that it is not true, as Sami Dakun has said. Right. Sami Dakun is a leading member of the OSP. He's leading a lot of work, and I will urge that sometime when the issues
he's in charge of research.
Absolutely.
And also
research.
affairs
I don't
at
know.
the
I don't
office
know.
of the special
When the issues
prosecutor?
come, I beg him. He's a lawyer. He should relax. And then when he
Right.
relaxes, but the social media thing, it's creating problems if you ask me and all of that. So that is it with the OSP thing yesterday when the Supreme Court, the High Court is saying that Justice Nyedunyanta is saying that go to the Attorney General for your prosecutorial powers.
Interesting. And I'm sure that in the coming days we'll get to even get further perspectives on this matter. But Mutala, what else do you have for me this morning?
Give your worry, Mensah. Yesterday
National
I did
Service
it. Yes.
Authority.
So she moved her third application to halt the trial. She said that look, part 2-3 of the practice direction and Article 19 to C and 10, they are inconsistent. They conflate with each other. Refer the matter. Stay and go. Let me go to the Supreme Court. The High Court said there's no merit, so it was dismissed. So a third time in a row, an application to halt proceedings was dismissed, and the court has asked that the trial proceed at the next sitting. But today, the big one, Supreme Court at 1:50.
Right.
And this is the premises of the Supreme Court. Beautiful, isn't it? 150 years. Where were you at the time?
Really? That was my grandfather.
Your grandfather? I think I saw, what do you call it? A funeral brochure recently where an elderly woman, 180 something years.
Right. So she would have definitely been
Yeah,
there.
she would have been. She's one
Maybe
person you can find in this country who is older
But
than
she's gone.
the Supreme Court. She's old.
So
Yeah,
you-
she's gone.
So you can't find her.
Now we can't find it. So 150 years, few institutions stay that long. And today there's an official ceremony to, as it were, honor the past, present, and the future. And Director, pause here. Let me go back small. Let me show you something on the artwork. And today the Chief Justice, pause here. And the theme is honoring the past, celebrating present, and defining the future. So that is what we should expect. But there's an artwork that I want to show you some of the key decisions that the Supreme Court has made in its 150 years of existence. Ria Kuto and 7 others, 1961. This is an interesting case that a lot of law students have always been reading and telling you about all of that. Tufua versus Attorney General is also one of the cases that has to do with how a Chief Justice was removed from office and asked to be retained and all of that. NPP versus the Attorney General, December 31st December case, 1993. Then 2012 presidential election petition. And that was one of the cases that I am proud of. I sat through out that particular proceedings when I was now starting court reporting and all of that. I was less than a year then within that time frame and all of that. Then Justice Abdullahi and Attorney General, this case has to do with the fact that can the Speaker or Deputy Speaker have a voting right as when presiding. And this is an interesting case that is. So these are some of the cases that the Supreme Court has dealt with within the 150 years of existence. And today, the Chief Justice will be telling us all the plans, all lined up for this particular celebration. They will start from today to the end of July.
Right. Well, Mutala, thank you so much for bringing us updates in court. That's Mutala Inusa with Court Today. And a very good morning to Chantel Amina Abdul Malik. You're watching. A very good morning to you. We'll take a breather here. When we return, we'll get into the conversations for you. Stay with us. Well, thank you so much for staying on with us. It's time to check out Inside Out. Ibrahim Hassan has joined me. Quite a number of things happening. And like I said in my opening, a lot of us slept in the dark yesterday. I mean, I was awake all the way till around almost 1 a.m. when the lights got back. So that was when I was able to get some sleep. So I'm sure you are also wondering, what's happening? Is Dumsor back? People say, no, there's no Dumsor. It's as a result of some fault somewhere. And then I'm asking questions as to what about the other ones? So, Transformers, say, yo, let's keep looking for excuses for this. Ibrahim Hassan, did you have lights last night?
I did, surprisingly.
Hey!
Because I'm supposed to be in the same soup with you constantly, right? But surprisingly, I had light yesterday.
Wow.
If there is any community that has had its transformers overloaded, it's mine. In fact, at the point I believe that the ECG engineers were using my transformer for experiment. They are constantly there. Like practicals, you see, like you go for they are constantly there. Yes, so the minister has had to offer some explanation and call it an apology as well. But of course, he just didn't say Dumsi is here. But that was what he meant. That the transformers are obsolete.
Yes.
For that is a fact. I remember doing a story about the overloaded transformers and the fact that the power would trip. In fact, at the point, my neighbor had light, I didn't have light. And then I was wondering, and when it happens, like, it's difficult for you to be attended to. Because the complaints will not be that much.
Exactly.
You know, when the entire community is without light, everybody's calling ECG. So for that one, the pressure is heavy. But when it's just half, it becomes a challenge. So the minister says transformers have been procured and there's the need for the switch over.
Yeah.
The ECG has been forthcoming with information about the communities to be impacted.
Absolutely.
So now they release. But unfortunately, some of the communities outside the list that we are
Also
giving
get impacted.
Also get impacted.
That's why I'm asking the question as to, okay, is it the transformer issue?
Yes.
Is it?
Exactly. So
What-
specific to yesterday, we told GHOne has issued a statement, and the statement is to the effect that there was a challenge with the Atuabo gas plant. So it developed an emergency problem, and then it had to shut down, knocking off many megawatts that ordinarily ought to have been transmitted by GHOne. That's how come many, because in fact, on my timeline, I think I was the only one who had power, and I'm talking about people in my circle. So you didn't have power. You hear this person in Adenta saying I didn't have power. This person in OEB saying I didn't have power. This person in Ashaman saying I didn't have power, and what have you. So the explanation was that yes, the fault was from Ghana Gas because of the power trip, which knocked off so much by way of power that could be transmitted
and at
to
night,
you.
the way it can be very
so
frustrating.
the engineers, it meant that engineers stayed up late to work on it for you to get power at 1 a.m. And the heat is equally unforgiving of late.
You know, these days it's like the sun is getting close to us.
Very much so.
Is
I hope
that
it's
bad?
not. Okay, anyway.
They didn't bring anything.
Yes. But you see, it's painful that we are paying much more for electricity. Now, the same both meters we talked about, ECG says there's nothing wrong with the meters. We are yet to hear from PURC though. Yes, and that's one thing. The PURC should update us because they were to conduct some investigations.
Exactly.
In that regard. They should make their findings known to us. But ECG has said that there's nothing wrong with the meters.
No,
so
how come the same meter months ago was reading in a certain way, then now it's going, and you're telling me it's normal?
They say now it has taken a realistic realm. So what you were paying before, the meter was not working realistically. So it is now that you are paying realistic. But the bottom line is that we are paying more.
We are paying
and
more.
It's painful.
Yeah.
So the least we should expect is stability relative to
Especially
power supply.
at night,
Exactly, it's very important.
when you have to wake up at 3:30 or 4 a.m. and then you don't have power till after midnight.
Those with kids, it is a superfluous punishment.
Eh.
Where you have to stay awake, not just that, you have to fan the baby and pray that you fan the baby enough for the baby to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And it will go on for a while. By the time the baby falls asleep, your alarm is going off and you have to go to work.
Don't remind me.
Exactly. So, yes, hopefully, after the transformers are changed, we'll have stable power supply.
Hopefully. But while that is happening, today we are supposed to pay more at the pumps.
Yes.
And when I was coming, I was checking, but maybe it was too early for it to kick in. So
It's
I
still
did not see-
13.
Yeah, I'm
13,
seeing 30 and then 17, 10.
Yes.
I'm still seeing that.
So government has announced some reliefs. It was announced some time back but we're told that it will take effect at the next
Pricing window.
The pricing window is today.
Today.
So those of you who consume diesel, right, you've been dashed more than 2
cities, yeah.
Right. And that's huge. So from 17, you're not going to pay around 15 something.
That would have to do with the new price.
Exactly.
So if the new price is going to 21, minus the 2 cities will come to around 19.
No, I get that. But we don't expect the new price to equally go mad, because after the temporary ceasefire that was announced, the oil prices dropped from 115 to 96, 94.
Until Trump announced the blockade.
Yes, and then it went to 113 there about, 112 there about. So the increment ought to have been marginal.
Yeah.
Right. But I think the reason why government is dashing the diesel consumers much more is because of the throttle drivers. The throttle drivers run on diesel.
Yeah, mostly.
And government had told them not to
Increase
revise
their
their
fares.
fares upwards. So this is a way of government saying that we are subsidizing your operations. We are yet to hear from them to see whether this is enough for them to at least allow the fares to stay where they originally were. So definitely we'll have to look at it. But as for petrol consumers, government says we are on our own.
36 pesos.
Yeah, 36 pesos. But cumulatively, if you are buying more, at least times how many liters you are buying, 36 pesos will do something for you. But we only hope and pray that the movement we have seen relative to constant engagement between the Iranians and the Americans, led by the Pakistanis, will have a very final, lasting peace.
Yeah.
Because you see, the Iranians are also threatening to block the Red Sea using the Houthis, because there's a blockade at their end, a blockade on a blockade.
Yeah.
So then they are also, it's a case of Obibe no Obinye then Kiwiasen say to it. You see, you cannot Nkokona, right? Or Pepe. And that's to squeeze all of us.
Yes.
As we sit here, we have nothing to do with what's happening in the Middle East. But like I used not to look at the gate when and the order, the advertisers at the board when you are going to buy fuel. Like I said, now you have to. If you look and it's not favorable, you drive to the next filling station, right? And it affects virtually everything.
Absolutely.
It affects virtually everything.
True.
So yes, thank you, government, but hopefully the price of fares do not go up, because if they do, trust me, the tomato you buy from the market will go up.
Yeah.
The rice you buy from the market will go up. The palm oil you buy from the market will go up. Everything will go up, because the vendors and then the market women will tell you that cost of transportation has gone up. So they will have to also increase their margins.
It's serious, because I remember speaking to the coalition of CSOs, and they were proposing a 1 cedi 65 peso reduction
Across the board. Yeah.
Now we have a situation where petrol has been reduced by just 30 something pesos.
Yeah.
I think it would be nice to engage them to find out
Yes.
exactly. Diesel exceeded their expectation. Petrol, of course, way below what they were asking for. We'll get to understand all of that shortly. Ibrahim, thank you so much. That's Ibrahim Al Hassan. He's the head of current affairs here at the EIB Network, and also lead producer for State of Affairs, SOA. We'll take a break. My guests are ready. We'll get into the conversations then. Today here on GHOne television, let's bring you the breakfast review. And this morning I've been joined by two fine brains, two medical doctors who belong to the different political parties as well, helping us to appreciate the issues as they are. I have from the NDC, Dr. Prince Agri, and also from the NPP, Dr. Ezekiel Ejekum Obeng. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
And welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, for Prince, it'll be my first time engaging you. Yeah, as for Ezekiel, he's been here. We've been having conversations. Yeah. But nice to have you. How's it going?
Oh, it's going quite well. I mean, so far we are very excited with the policies we've seen being implemented.
Right.
I mean, since we took over power in 2025. And we can see the people extremely happy. People are extremely excited. Consider there's a wave of fresh air which is blowing towards the country.
Right.
So we are extremely excited and happy this morning.
And I'm sure that among the policies would be, of course, the fuel issue. The MPP says you are now tasting the reality. You were saying earlier that, well, Russia-Ukraine shouldn't have been a problem, but now you are seeing the impact. Is that really the case for the NDC?
I mean, there's been a little impact, but it's all about management. Okay. You see, with every government, there are crises. And with crisis, it's the main thing is how you are going to manage. Okay, there are always unexpected things. Even in theater, even in surgery, sometimes there's a procedure for you to do. So that you go in and then what you are prepared to find, that's not what you find.
Right.
So it's all about management and then emergency management, which is what we are doing now. So you can see we are putting in certain implementations to cushion the Ghanaian people with regards to the 2 Ghana cedi for the diesel and then the 0.4 Ghana cedi for the petrol. So you can see we are putting in certain interventions to cushion the Ghanaian people in order to relieve and their stress and make sure everything will be okay.
Doc,
my brother,
I hope you're doing well.
By God's grace, once we have life, we can be grateful to God for His abundance of mercies He bestows on us. So all glory to God.
Absolutely. Well, he says it's all about prudent management, and that's what they're doing, especially with the fuel issue, regardless of what is happening in the international markets.
First of all, it's quite insightful that finally the NDC has come to the realization that foreign exigencies affect our local economy, and I hope they will apologize to Ghanaians, for the president himself when he wanted power, leading his cohort to tell us that bombs flying 7,000 kilometers away, how could they affect Ghana when we haven't seen any drop of bomb at Kantamanto or Mokola. And today we turn around, just few weeks of small fraction and little hitches somewhere. In Iran, we are told that diesel is selling almost 18 cedis. And contrary to the claims that government has brought some relief, today, COMAC has come up to disband that claim that government has not given any release. Whatever reduction anyone sees at the pump, I'm speaking, and my authority is COMAC, that they claim that the reliefs are not from government. So government hasn't done anything to cushion the Ghanaian. Government hasn't done anything to lessen the burden on Ghanaians. As to whether Ghanaians are happy, the teachers are there. Yesterday you saw them marching on the streets. A poor teacher who had a child for the past 15 months has not received her salary. And you could see the tears, dripping down her face. And she telling us how regretful she is, in choosing the teaching profession. All of us are here today because a teacher held our hands. And for a government that promised automatic posting for teachers, for a government that promised to scrap teacher licensure exam, only for them to make a U-turn. They are promised to cancel the licensure exam. We are told finally by the leader of the majority caucus in parliament that they never made such claim. Meanwhile, it's explicitly written in their manifesto. Not only have they even gone ahead with the exam, contrary to the claims, they've increased the fee for teachers. And you can't even pay those that are already in the system. This is a government that promised 24-hour economy and even promised that schools were going to run shift system. That's what they promised. And when we put them to the test, they told us, oh, during COVID, didn't we see teachers teaching online and all that? So yes, we are going to make sure that our educational system even runs on a shift system. And the teachers you came to meet, I thought you were coming to add double the numbers you have met to ensure your 3-stream of academic calendar. But here we are. Those who came to meet, you can't even pay them. Teachers have to vacate the classroom to come to the streets. Look at the impact this has on the poor child who is in school receiving education. And last year we were promised that government was going to employ 50,000 teachers, only for that news to become a fiasco. Then today,
7,000 of them.
Last year, 50,000, fiasco, no show, nothing, Yamutu. Today, we have been told, oh, we've scaled down. The 50,000 yen to me. So we are coming down to 7,000. I mean, just look at what is happening. Electricity prices, your 24-hour economy. You sent a bill to Parliament. There was nothing in it, 24-hour economy. Meanwhile, you mounted giant billboards, campaigning that you were going to give Ghanaian youth job to do. The run shift system in our institutions. Even went to the extent of having a video advert during the elections, where a gentleman was seen with a visitor around 2 a.m. and the gentleman could go and cash 200 cedi check, telling Ghanaians that banks were going to operate 24 hours. Which single institution is employing people for the 24-hour economy?
Right.
You led our women, just to end, led our women on that, you know what, we are bringing a biased, gender-biased banking system in Ghana, where there's going to be a women's development bank, and all cadre of staff, from the cleaners to the security, to the teller, to the information desk, to regional directors, to district directors, to the board, department and unit, in fact, across board, all structure. We are going to see women working at the banks. And I keep asking, from Choko to Paga, Kodjo in the western region to Doma, where can we locate a single of the Women's Development Bank? So everything this government promised, clearly. So we can't create the impression that the Ghanaian is happy. If nothing at all, how would a Ghanaian who is happy be on the street, burying her child and be crying? How can someone be these tears when it's not tears of joy?
Right. Well, on the issue of the fuel and the prices, and of course the government statement, we'll also be getting some clarity from COMAC because government released communication to the effect that 2 cedis was being absorbed in diesel and about 40 pesos on petrol. We'll get to understand exactly what the dynamics are later on when we get Dr. Rivison Opong to speak to on this development. But let me come to you, Doc Prince. Quite a number of, he says clearly, all the promises you made, nothing. We are not seeing anything, no show.
I mean, we've seen the big push being implemented, and personally, I live in Tema, Committee 3 to be specific.
Right.
And, what happened previously during the previous government was I used to ply the motorway quite often. You realize that I got to a point in time where the motorway there were so many potholes. Okay, you have to go through numerous potholes before you get to work. Now, aside just the motorway, we talk about the Pokwasi Road. If somebody has to move from Pokwasi, especially, let's say, for example, taking into consideration, let's say, our nurses. Okay, I know a number of nurses who work at various facilities, let's say, Kolebu Teaching Hospital, who live at Pokwasi, in Tawom, and even Kaswa. So imagine having to wake up at 4:30 a.m. every morning to traverse the Pokwasi Road, a rough road full of sand, no maintenance. You get to work at around 6:37. By the time you get to work, your shoes are even dirty. The nurses' uniform, they normally wear white. It's already dirty, and then you now have to take care of human lives. Imagine the mental stress and fatigue you have to go through. Okay, I'm very passionate about this when it comes to roads. You know, sometimes we talk about roads, and then, but it's extremely important because I know certain nurses who are unable to afford rent, so they have to go so far away from Accra, and they have to get to work by 8 o'clock because they have to save human lives. Okay, so what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama realized was that, no, listen, this is a major policy. This is a major problem we're experiencing. Okay, because a lot of workers, we used to see workers wake up in the morning, join long queues in order to board vehicles. And right now, a lot of people are not patronizing the Uber business because they realize that it was running at a loss. Let's say, for example, businessmen. You buy an Uber vehicle, you give it to a driver. Now, every week, the driver has to ply these rough roads. Every week, the driver comes up with stories, shock absorber, tie. This. You realize that all the money you're basically generating from the business is being used for maintenance. So you realize that there are fewer and fewer vehicles in the system when it comes to the transport sector because of the problems we're experiencing. So His Excellency decided, no, listen, I'm not going to allow this any longer. We are going to tackle the Pokwasi Road. With the motorway, we are going to expand it. And not just expand it, extend it. Okay? Leading into 25 and other places. Now, the Winneba-Kaswa Road. Now, Kaswa is currently one of the biggest growing areas in our country. And I can say over 60 to 70% of nurses, especially, come from Kaswa. Now, these people have to come to sometimes Tema, sometimes Kwalibu, 37, Rage Hospital. Okay, what happens is, sometimes they get there late. And it's not their fault because they have to wake up at 4:30 a.m. try and then struggle to get buses and all that. You understand? Before eventually having to traverse a road that you have to be shaking on the road. So and by the time you get to work, even your back is set. So many potholes, so much dust. And all this even leads to certain health conditions. The dust, once it enters your lungs, causes other problems. There are so many conditions, something we call pneumoconiosis, which is basically, and then something we call silicosis, which is dust in your lungs. So there are so many problems that arise from this. So one of the major interventions was a big push for the. In fact, I remember there was this time that Baumia made a statement that he would pick the Ghana card over 1,000 interchanges. You understand? So His Excellency sat down and looked at, no, listen. There are so many things we have to look at. So he decided to tackle this. Now, the primary healthcare, in fact, as a medical doctor, the day I was inducted into the profession was the happiest day of my life because I was not just focused on the title or the nobility, but to help people. However, yesterday became the happiest day of my life.
Right.
I've never before seen such a bold social intervention in my entire life. Because prior to the 2024 election, I had the privilege of organizing, of being a part of the medical doctors team for the NDC. So we organized a number of health screening across the length and breadth of the country. So we had the privilege to go to so many constituencies. One of the constituencies we went to was North Tongu, which is the Honorable Kodjo Black West constituency. Now, there's a place we call Mekpe. Mekpe, you have to cross a lagoon in order to access the rural population. You have to cross a lagoon with a canoe in order to access a rural population. So we got there and realized that, listen. There are so many people. Sometimes we sit in Accra and think the whole Ghana is all about Accra. No. There are places where they don't have lights. There are places where they don't have access to basic health care. There are places where they don't even have access to potable drinking water. So His Excellency decided that, no, listen. Primary health care, we have to fully implement the primary health care. Now, there are so many, we've heard of primary health care. Now, I'm going to break it down to you. Now, primary health care is basically a tier system, a multi-tier system, in regards to making sure health is able to reach the underdeprived regions. Now, there are various stages. Okay, we have the community health, the CHIPS compounds, which is basically community health planning services. Okay, we have the sub-district levels, and then we have the district levels. The district level consists of the polyclinics, and the sub-district level consists of the health centers. Now, the CHIPS compounds are mainly made to cater for between 3,000 to 4,500 people.
Okay.
The health centers at the sub-district level at about 20,000 people, and at the district level approximately about 100,000 people. Now, the main focus, the reason why I'm even so excited about this policy is it's not just about curative. It's focused on preventive and promotive healthcare. Now, one may ask, what is preventive and promotive healthcare? Now, we focus on preventing certain diseases before they arise. Some of these diseases are what we call the chronic medical illnesses. Our hypertension, our diabetes, okay, our increased weight gain, even breast cancer. Okay, so hypertension, these community health planning services, which are the CHIPS compounds, it's completely free. Anybody at all can walk there, have your BP checked. BP will be checked regularly to make sure that as soon as we see that it's above, for elderly people, it's supposed to be below 135/90 millimeters of mercury. As soon as we discover that it's above this value, we put in certain interventions and then refer to the sub-district level.
Right.
So this early detection is going to prevent other things,
Okay.
such as kidney problems. Research has shown that a majority of chronic kidney diseases are due to hypertension and diabetes.
Yeah.
Also, your sugar will be checked regularly. Your weight and height will be checked regularly to give you what we call the BMI, body mass index. Now, the BMI is a proportion of the weight to the height squared. Okay, so it gives us an idea of how healthy you are based on your weight status. Okay, and breast cancer screening, women are able to go there to have their free breast examinations. Okay, free breast examination, because early detection when it comes to breast cancer is extremely important. So once a lump is noticed, you are referred to the sub-district level for further interventions, such as an ultrasound scan or a mammogram, depending on the age of the patient. Now, another important thing that this primary healthcare is meant to look at is in regards to maternal and child health. Now, one may ask, what is maternal and child health? Now, research showed that in 2023, there were the child health mortality was between 28 and 32 live children dying per 1,000 live births. Okay, which means when you pick 1,000 live births, the infant mortality rate was between 28 to 32, which means for every 1,000 live births, 28 to 32 children
We're dying.
Which is extremely important. Now, we realize that, listen, what is happening? Okay, so maternal health. I'm going to break it down into three simple stages: antenatal, delivery, and postnatal. Antenatal is before delivery. Now, antenatal are basically all the procedures and processes which are done before you get to the stage of delivery.
Yeah.
Now, we realize that the main cause of mothers dying was due to hypertension, also due to infections, and what we call hemorrhage, which is bleeding. Now, hemorrhage, we have two types. We have antepartum and postpartum hemorrhage. The antepartum is basically bleeding before, and postpartum is bleeding after. Okay, so realize that, listen, mothers, we are husbands are losing their wives. Like, imagine, I mean, you were in a district, and maybe you live in Accra, but you visited a district for maybe an interview or something with your wife, or for a vacation with your wife, and then and she was pregnant, and within the shortest possible time she starts to have complications, and this primary health care is not available. I mean, can you imagine the level of frustration you would have gone through?
Right.
So this maternal health would prevent all the major causes of mortality in regards to the hemorrhage, the hemorrhage, the high blood pressures, and also the infections. So that once it's discovered, certain interventions are made, and then the person is quickly referred to the health centers and then the polyclinics.
Right.
Now, in addition to that, the deliveries. Safe delivery is extremely important. Okay, sometimes you realize that, listen, people have to traverse, Ghanaians will have to traverse rough roads for 2 hours before getting to a health facility. Imagine a woman is in labor. She now has to sit on Aboboya and is shaking on the rough road where the previous government failed to build. So she keeps on shaking. By the time she gets to the health facility, I mean, complications may even have arrived. You understand? So this is extremely important.
So you believe this is a game changer?
Oh, perfect.
So healthcare delivery?
In fact, it is one of the major social interventions, and I can say for a fact, it is one of the boldest policies of this government. Okay, it is going to impact lives.
Right.
It's going to change lives. It's going to impact families. I mean, so many people don't have access and don't even have the funds to be able to afford this basic healthcare. So trust me when I say this is a game changer. In fact, every medical doctor should stand boldly behind, irrespective of party affiliations, boldly behind this policy. And I can say confidently that once you've worked in a hospital, I've had the privilege of working in so many government hospitals, and sometimes it's so hurting. You know, I become so passionate when I see young people who come in and are unable to afford basic health care. Sometimes we even have to raise funds and donate. You understand? So this is, when I say this is a game changer, it's extremely bold. Now, I know my colleague in the MPP is going to bring in certain points, such as, what's the difference between primary health care and NHIS? Now, the primary health care, as I mentioned, is going to take care of the initial phases.
Right.
We call the CHIPS compounds, we call the health centers, we call the polyclinics. Now, when you go to Kolebu Teaching Hospital, it's not free. People have to pay for it. When you go to the regional hospitals, Ridge Hospital, it's not free. People have to pay for it. When you go to UGMC, it's not free. People have to pay for it. So President Mahama sat down and said, okay, so listen, we are going to uncap the NHIs. Okay, we are going to make sure service providers are paid on time. Now, once service providers are paid on time, what happens is they are encouraged to implement NHIs even in the private facilities.
Okay.
Now, I had the privilege of working in a private facility in Tema. Now, what happened was that they used to work with the NHIs. So, for patients who had NHIs, were able to come to the clinic for healthcare to be done.
Right.
But what happened was that they realized that, listen, so that was some years ago, 2022, 2023. We had a major challenge. The patients go to the hospital, are seen by the healthcare providers. They are given medications on the NHIS. Now, government in tier, government in tier. Now you're back and forth. We have to chase government. We have to chase, make calls. You know, all these brouhaha and complications that happened with the previous government. So it was seriously disheartening.
Right.
So a lot of private hospitals decided to pull back when it came to this whole NHIS issue. Now, the uncapping of the NHIS, what happens? So one may also ask, okay, so the primary healthcare, I hope it's not going to put extra strain on our
government pairs.
On government pairs. No. So what we are doing is NHIS is going to fully cater for the primary health.
The free primary healthcare policy.
Now,
right. As you learned for me.
Yes, okay. So now, we noticed that during the previous government, the funds raised by the NHIS, which was about 6 billion Ghana cedi, of about 3 to 4 billion Ghana cedi wasn't used for the purpose intended. So just about 2 billion Ghana cedi was being used for the NHIS. And what President Mahama decided was that, no, listen. Human lives are extremely important. Aside everything, we can build roads, we can build infrastructure, but the people, the Ghanaians, have to be catered for. So what am I going to do? I'm going to make sure that every fund raised by the NHIS is going to stick in the health sector.
Okay.
So I'm going to move these funds. So these are the funds. The extra 3 to 4 billion Ghana cedi is going to be used to cater for this primary health care.
Okay. Let me bring Dr. Ezekiel in because, I mean, like I said, I'm glad both of you are medical officers. And he mentions that every single doctor should rally behind this free primary health care policy because that's a game changer for the entire nation.
I like my brother. Obviously, we've had a history, common schools, and I'm happy to see him where he is now. But what was at play, clearly, is a conflict between political views and your professional views. It was clearly at play in his presentation. And let's commend him for the copious medical education he has offered us this morning. And let's set some basic rules and fundamentals. But before that, the Temamoto Way expansion project is not President Mahama's idea. In 2024, I sat on Peace FM, Kokroko Morning Show, and I told the whole country the MPP administration had secured funds to expand Temamoto Way. And on the show, the ranking member or the chair of the Roads Committee in Parliament, Honorable Kennedy Osenyako, sent a text to the host and confirmed what I said. The works on the Temamoto Way expansion, you and I know, did not start in your administration. President Mahama has no hands in the Tema Motorway expansion project. I live around Mar7 Tantra Hill area, and I work beyond that part of Accra. I ply the Pokwasi Road almost not less than twice every week. At a point, Dr. Baumia went to commission part of the Pokwasi and Sawam Road.
Yeah.
Once again, that road has nothing NDC, has nothing President Mahama on the road anywhere. We all know when it started. We all know which parts were completed before this administration. So if you are launching your big push, please go and look for roads to construct.
Well, they say you couldn't pay the contractor, so the contractor was off-site.
The contractor who worked till around December, November, where the first part of the road up to John Terry was commissioned, was not paid. Didn't you hear the commentaries and the conversations on Peace FM regarding how much was paid to the person even before MPP left? Millions and hundreds of millions of cedis. We understand the narrative you want to change. So after all, we started, but we didn't pay a contractor. Is that the narrative? It has nothing NDC.
Okay.
The Kaswa Road, Winneba Road, it has nothing NDC. The Dodowa Road, it has nothing NDC. In fact, all the major roads we were constructing, the NDC told Ghanaians that they were ECOWAS roads, they were AU roads, they were European roads, European Union roads. In fact, they were UN roads. Today, the roads that MPP started, and you call them ECOWAS roads, you've come, you won't give birth to the child. Someone gives birth to the child, and you say, you know what, I'm coming to name the child. So yeah, they're under big push, and it's my project. But at the end of the day, the Ghanaian will know who started what, and who should claim glory on what. So that's settled. Okay. And at the time Dr. Baumia was making the claim that he would choose the Ghana card over 100 interchanges, the MPP had built interchanges. Talk of Petekwashi interchange, talk of Pokwasi interchange, talk of Tamale interchange, go to Takrady. And we could list about 5 interchanges at the time. How many have you even started? How many did you even build during your time? You understand? So when Dr. Baumia was even making such claims, he knew he had constructed, his government, the MPP, had constructed interchanges. Okay. And there's no doubt. In fact, we are proud to say that the MPP is the political party that first introduced interchange in the northern part of Ghana. And it's a fact. Okay. And then when President Mahama is going to his hometown, he gets to Tamale, he uses the same interchange.
Okay. Doc, let me just hold you here briefly. We've been joined on Zoom by Dr. Rivers Ndopon. We just need to get the conversation on full. So hold your thoughts. I'll come back to you right after this. Doc, thank you so much for joining us. It's great to have you at a time like this. I remember that earlier when the issues about fuel prices and what the impact on those prices would be as a result of what is happening in Iran, we had that conversation. Now, government has issued a statement saying that it is absorbing some part of the cost, 2 cedis for diesel and about 40 pesos for super in this particular instance. From the perspective of COMAC, how do you receive this?
Good morning. Morning to your distinguished panelists and viewers and listeners as well. Right, today we had an emergency general meeting with our members, with MPA, and that's when we received the news officially, even though there were so much noise about what kind of taxes or levies or even margins would be taken off. Prior to that, we also had given perspective as to which direction the government could go. Obviously, the same news you have around 10 o'clock, we also received it. And as we speak, the government has taken away margins to the tune of 2 cedis for diesel. And that means that there is a discount somewhere, or there is a negative somewhere that needs to be pre-borne by somebody, right? And then also we have about I think 36 pesos for petrol, and all was to avoid prices shooting up because prices were going to go up. And let me say this emphatically, that if not for this intervention, diesel would have been somewhere around 19 cedis and petrol would have been somewhere around 15.36. You get my point? So the intervention is timely, looking at the fact that from the next window, prices internationally on the average will be coming down. So that is fine. Would have loved to have it earlier on. So it's well received, but we the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, as per our engagement with MPA, made them aware that due to the negative part of the diesel, that would mean that our members or the oil marketing companies would have to be prepaying for fuel that has been sold and then depend on MPA to get money back. Or that we are asking MPA that this is working capital. It's working capital because if someone dispense 10 million liters of diesel, okay, and the person will have to cough extra 6.3 million liters, right? And we want MPA to know that 6.3 million is a big money that can be used to trade. We're not asking for interest, because it's like we are borrowing money to the government. We're not asking for interest. All that we're asking is for quick repayment of this money, because the government says he has done it. He is giving comfort to the ordinary Ghanaian, and he's giving comfort using margins, which are operational costs of companies and institutions and service providers to the industry, without touching any tax. No problem. We are not government entities. We are private businesses. So when we invest in your comfort, please pay us back on time.
So that's the plea you're making to the NPA, that these margins that have been taken off the price build-up, you've already bought fuel, so clearly government says it's absorbing. You are saying that the NPA should also be quick in repaying that. Is that the point you're making?
Yes, because like I said, the margin obviously is below 2 cedis, right? All the margins put together is below 2 cedis. So if you're taking 2 cedis of diesel, it means that there's a deficit today of 63 pesos, which will be borne by any OMC who will sell diesel. That's what I'm saying.
Right. So the pricing window starts today. On the average, what should we be expecting at the pumps?
I'm happy driving across town. I'm seeing some doing well. Some are very proud to sit on the price floor, 17.10 for diesel.
And then 13.30.
Some are doing 13.5, 14 for petrol. It's okay. We've seen the changes because, like I said, fuel price should have been 19 cedis and 15 cedis for diesel and petrol respectively, if not for this intervention.
Very well. Well, Doc, thank you so much for helping us appreciate and situate the conversation. Dr. Riverson Opong, he is the CEO of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, COMAC, speaking to us on that particular matter there. But before we went to him, Dr. Ezekiel was making the point basically on the road infrastructure and saying that, well, the interchanges and all the things that the NDC seems to be pushing under the big push were already started by the NPP administration. Now, let me come back to you. Yeah. He talks about, you want to still land on that before we go to the free
we've dealt with the road issue, and every Ghanaian knows. Anyone that lives or applies the Pokwasi road know that it has nothing present Mahama and this one. If you live around Kaswa, Winneba, Dodowa areas, you know very well. The Tema areas, you know very well that NDC has done nothing. And I emphatically repeat, the Tema Motorway expansion project has nothing NDC about it. Let's come back to the primary healthcare.
Yeah. When he's done with the primary healthcare, I'll touch on something.
No problem. I can give you my time to even talk about it. The primary healthcare. My brother says one of the happiest moments in his life was yesterday. For anyone that is in the sector, should rather weep when you see things like this happen. Let's lay some fundamentals, then we will end with what they are doing. There's something called a chip compound system, which my brother touched on.
Yes.
It was Ghana's way of ensuring universal health coverage after the Alma Mater Declaration in 1978, when the whole world was enjoined to make healthcare accessible to everyone at a lower cost. So Ghana, in implementing universal health coverage, adapted the primary healthcare system and sought to start at levels. So my brother enumerated the levels.
Yeah.
But the primary healthcare ends at the district level. NDC wants to change the narrative. That's why my brother ended at polyclinics. Primary healthcare terminates at the district hospital. So from your chips, you go to health center, polyclinic, and your district hospital. Primary healthcare ends. So Ghana adapted the chip compound policy, started the implementation and pilots projects around 94, 96. Right? And by 2000, we're ready, 98 to 2000, we're ready to roll out.
Yeah.
If you look at the mandate of the chip compound and what the chip compounds seek to do, we're on an educational journey, so kindly engage me. The chip compounds have initially community health volunteers who would be trained and be given some medical education so they could move to the communities, use the training they've had to look out for conditions and help bring people to the chip compound for management. Later, community health nurses were added to the community health volunteers. Now, if you look at the mandate of the chip compound, I will read them to you for the emphasis. Right? So the chip compounds, retaining and deploying health staff in communities. From 96, 98 up to 2000 when we started chip compounds. The idea was already there. To send people to communities. Community organization and mobilization. To mobilize the community, own the chip compound, let them rally behind whatever health interventions you are bringing.
Right.
Because as part of primary health care, community acceptance and mobilization is very key in primary health care. Then, utilizing traditional institutions, support structures, and provision of doorstep services to communities, including preventive care, family planning, immunization, health education, treatment of common childhood and other diseases. So, the idea of to send health workers to the communities has existed from time immemorial. And if you go to our communities, in terms of demarcations in the health sector, we demarcate the health sector into what we call chip zones. Then every chip zone would have a chip compound. The chip compound now today will have the community health nurse, a midwife, and the health volunteers. And they move to the communities all the time. Their job is to go to the communities, speak to community people, help them identify common diseases, offer them medical education. In fact, during EPI programs, expanded program on immunization, don't you see nurses and public health nurses moving to communities to give immunization? Is it new? Don't you see vans moving across offering health education from time immemorial? So the concept of bringing health care to the people started with the chip compound policy. And we are in Accra, so you will not see it much. But if you move to the deprived communities in Accra, you will see what the community health nurses, the public health nurses, and the community health volunteers are doing in our communities. Their job, stay at the chip compound, move to the communities, give them education, offer health promotion services, offer preventive services. In fact, help them diagnose certain conditions, and when there is a need to visit a facility, bring them to the chip compound. If you can't manage it there, escalate it to the health center. If they can't manage it there, send it to the polyclinic or the district hospital. This concept has been there. The problem that was lacking as a country in our healthcare structure was healthcare financing. And that is where universal healthcare coverage comes in, where essential and quality healthcare services are offered to people, or people can access quality healthcare services where the burden of finances does not become a barrier between the people and the access to quality healthcare.
Right.
That was what lacking. That was our problem. So Ghana was burdened with cash and carry system. That yes, after your nurses moving to the communities, offering the education, offering the immunization services, offering the screenings and whatnot, which has already existed, the people come and they can't pay for the services at the health centers and the health facilities. So it took the ingenuity of the MPP and President Kufuor in 2003 to implement the National Health Insurance Scheme and the free maternal health care policy. It's the most revolutionary intervention in the healthcare sector. It won't take me seated here to tout the benefits of NHIS. It won't take my brother even here to tout the benefit of NHIS and how it has revolutionized our healthcare sector. Go to the ministries, go to Ghana Health Service, and ask them, upon the introduction of the NHIS and the free maternal healthcare policy, what has been the impact on our healthcare sector? What did NHIS seek to do? Make a pool of money from our little contributions, takes taxes from elsewhere, NHIS levies, put them together, let people register, let them go to hospital, remove that barrier of healthcare financing who had become the problem so people could access health. Now, bear with me. If I go to the hospital today and I show my NHIS card, that is the point of entry into the healthcare system at any level, right? And I create what you call a folder. Before, it used to be paper. And Dr. Baumia brought the digital system. So the digital space took over the papers we used to write on. So your folder now will be created, but online. What are the first steps you go through before you see a doctor?
They check your
BP will be checked.
Pressure.
Is it today that you are coming to see BP checked for us? Do you pay when your BP is checked? After creating your folder, do you pay for your BP to be checked? No. Do you pay for your height to be checked? No. Do you pay for your weight to be checked? No. Do you pay for your sugar to be checked? No. Do you pay for the doctor to speak to you? No. Do you pay for the doctor to examine you and examine your breast to screen for breast cancer? No. So the NHI, the first point of payment is the registration or the folder creation. It terminates at the point of speaking to the doctor and the doctor examining you. The next level of payment is when the doctor believes that I need to do certain investigations. Once again, NHI provides for those investigations. So if facilities are charging patients for monies, it's one of the problems NHI needs to fight, and it's called co-payment. One of the weaknesses of NHI as it is co-payment. Health authorities behind the door charging patients when in the end they will still go and use the patient to make claims. So your investigations, the full black count and the rest you do are all catered for under NHIS. That's the second leg of payment. The third leg of payment is finally when the doctor says, either I'm admitting you or I'm discharging you on medications. Once again, NHIS comes in. So if a doctor or a pharmacy or any facility is taking money for medications that are supposed to be on NHIS, the person is taking double monies, and the law should work. So yes, the chip compound system has been there to provide the services of reaching out to the people in their communities without they paying and referring them to the health center when they need be. Now, when they come, NHIS takes over and NHIS removes the financial barrier for people to access health. And those three streams of payments, your folder creation, your labs, and your management, all catered for by NHIS. Beyond that, if you go to Ghana Health Service, there's a whole department or division for health promotion. What health promotion does, all the interventions you see are under health promotion. Give you education, guide you, give you options so you can make informed health decisions. So if you go to our hospitals, what Ghana Health Service even did was to create what we call wellness centers. And the wellness centers are working opportunities. Where you go, you can have your BP checked, your sugar checked, your BMI checked, speak to a health worker for free. And when they notice something with you, they then bring you to the mainstream of healthcare providing. So the concept of screening people for these basic conditions have already existed.
So this is a duplication?
We will get there. They have already existed. Cheap compounds are moving to communities. Wellness clinic is providing for these basic tests. When you register or create your folder with NHIS, NHIS, by virtue of you being a member and creating your folder, every Ghanaian, I'm not lying, you are not, no, every Ghanaian, before you see a doctor, your vitals are checked with your NHIS, isn't it? Beyond that, for those that perhaps are in the cities and may not be at the reach of the community health nurses and the cheap compound policy, the National Health Insurance Scheme in 2024 introduced another health promotion concept, annual health screening project at NHIA. And go into the release that was published and cross-check what these people claim they are coming to do for free. The health promotion policy introduced by the NHIA also has these fundamental things where every Ghanaian on NHIA, once in a year, you are entitled to free health screening, promotion, and counseling at any public facility or NHIA accredited facility. Right. It was instituted in 2024 under the NHIA. And now, let's come back to what they say it is free, so we should clap for them. You are saying what? They are going to check our BPs. Ghanaians should go to hospital and check their BPs.
The preventive and the promotional side of healthcare.
What is the cheap compound doing? Which I've enumerated. They are all health promotion. They are all health prevention. Moving to your community, offering you the education, giving you the opportunity to make informed choices, guiding you to make the choices, and bringing you when I find something. That's not the preventive and the promotion you're talking about. The NHIA give you opportunity to walk into the facility and do screening. That's not the preventive and the promotion you're talking about.
Right.
The wellness clinics that have been established already in our facilities, where you can walk in for free and do your checkup. The basic things you are talking of today is not preventive and promotional. Do you know that what even some facilities have adapted? Provided I was sick and you came to visit me,
right,
the nurses upon your coming will walk to you as a patient relative or someone close to a patient. And they will come and even entice you with the idea of the wellness clinic. So now, even in the hospitals, the nurses are there on the lookout. Who is coming to visit who? Who is coming with which patient? Let's move to the person, spread the concept of health promotion and health prevention to them. Then they lead you to the wellness clinic. Right. Then you go and do those investigations. So everything NDC had packaged, curate part of what cheap compound does. Curate part of the benefits everyone that has ever created a folder with the NHIA will do, right? Curate parts of those services and take the policy that NHIA implemented with the annual checkup and bring these things together and say we've introduced something novel, BBA NC da, and it's a game changer. And in fact, the most abused word in our political history currently is game changer. You remember the 24-hour economy? Yeah. What was the motto? 24-hour economy is a game changer. And it's indeed changing games in this administration. Women's Development Bank is a game changer. And indeed, it's changing games in this administration. Hands off the health sector. Propaganda should be left at the door of the health sector. Propaganda and settings should be left before we enter the door of the health sector.
Okay.
Don't go and use the concept of NHI. Don't go and use the concept of primary health care, which was being executed at various levels, and the concept of the establishment of the cheap compounds, which already Ghanaians are enjoying. put them together and say, I'm offering you something new. You are offering nothing.
Okay.
Right? But to end, this is what is even worse. Right? After rebranding what the health promotion aspect of NHIA does, and rebranding what the chip compounds are doing for you already into your so-called family preventive and free primary health care policy. They say when you go and you speak to the nurse and they screen you and you have hypertension, then you come under NHIS to do investigation for you. When you go and they screen you and they realize, oh, there's diabetes, to do investigations is part of the FNQ. Part of the FNQ. And I'll read it to you. Their own FNQ they developed.
Yes. That's not what we did.
I didn't write it.
Yes, but
I read,
perhaps you give us
no problem. I read through it and I did a screenshot. Their own policy they put out yesterday. NPP did not conjure that. This means community nurse, blah, blah, blah. Or say, what happens if I'm diagnosed with a condition? The basic vitals, NHI was already checking for you. The basic vital chip compounds were already doing for you. That they've rebranded to say they are giving to you for free. Right? They are asking, FAQ. What happens if I'm diagnosed with a condition? The answer is, you will be referred for further care under NHIS. There is nothing free under what they are doing. Because healthcare is not just coming and even diagnosing me that I have this condition. It goes beyond that. The management aspect is even key. But you claim you are giving something for free. The people come and do basic screening.
Right.
And you tell them that if you are found to have hypertension, go and get NHIA card for NHIA to take care of you. If you are found to get diabetes, go and get NHIA card for NHIA to take care of you. Meaning, without NHIS, you are going to pay for whatever they found. But with the NHIA, you don't even need the so-called free they are giving you, because the NHIA and other things that exist in the system already are giving you the possibility.
Let me come back to you.
The branding and those things and the settings is just too much.
Okay.
It has no bearing. It is nothing new and it's nothing revolutionary.
Very well.
They only need their names to stick on something so that Ghanaians can say, oh, they've introduced something. Because for far too long, the NDC has been labeled as a party without a single social intervention.
Okay. Well, let me come to Praise because
something.
we ran out of time. Praise quickly.
So, I'm extremely disappointed this morning. And
in your own brother.
Oh, in my own brother. And I'm going to debunk.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to rebut. I'm going to disprove. And I'm going to expose
the floor is yours.
These falsifications and fabrications aimed at deceiving our innocent listeners. You know, the listeners don't have enough knowledge about this. So what my co-panelists decided to do was to read certain information. Now, I'll touch on the roads. Initially, he made mention of the fact that the roads, the Pokwasi Road, was constructed under the Eswa Akufo-Addo government. Now, a loan was secured in 2016, November, by His Excellency, President Mahama, from the African Development Bank, in the tune of an amount of $83 million. Please, I want you to just read this to our listeners, just for them to have an idea about what our brother is sharing to the general public.
This is November 17, 2016.
Yes.
That has to do with government securing funds for Pokwasi interchange.
Yes.
So government has signed a loan agreement with the African Development Bank to provide $83 million for the construction of the Pokwasi interchange, as government provides $11 million.
Which year?
This is 2016, November 17, on City Newsroom.
Oh,
yes.
the Pokwasi interchange project.
Yes.
We don't know the Pokwasi interchange project. We don't know the Pokwasi interchange project. From your tier 2.
So what's the point?
What's the point?
What's the point here?
So my point is, I mean, this has automatically discredited everything he said. Now, when you are a thief and you are caught and you are being investigated by the police or by the investigative authorities, what they do is they ask you a series of questions. Now, the moment you are discredited once,
it discredits everything.
Whatever additional information you put out is basically just... Now, with the primary health care, My brother mentioned so many other things, and
he says it's already a duplication of what exists. CHIPS compound, NHIA, they already cover all that you seek to do with the primary health care.
Now, have you ever heard of a health kiosk? So what a CHIPS compounds do is, so CHIPS compounds are like structures. Okay, they are constructed buildings in place. Okay, and with a number, and CHIPS compounds are not able to reach certain underdeserved communities. So what His Excellency decided to do was that he decided to come up with something we call a health kiosk. Health kiosks are like smaller containers. We call them mini CHIPS compounds.
Right.
So the health kiosks, we are deploying over 350 health kiosks, okay, across the length and breadth of the country. Now, we are starting with 150 districts. Now, the 150 districts will be selected uniformly over the various regions, depending on the places that need them the most. And now the key word is underdeserved communities. So what these health kiosks are meant to do is, I told you I went to Big Bay, and the site there was so alarming. Now, aside that, I was also in Tamale for a period of time, and wow, there's a place we call Lambusie. I'm not even sure you've heard of it before. It's very,
I have.
you've heard of Lambusie. It's very close to the Burkina Faso border. Now, Lambusie, before you get to Lambusie, the roads are not well constructed. One, means of transportation. Okay, you will not even get trotro to board. So we noticed so much going on.
Right.
So many challenges with the healthcare. So what His Excellency is, we sat down and he looked at the whole thing and analyzed the whole thing and said, no, listen. We have to meet these people in their needs in their times of needs. Okay. And then that was what he decided to do. Now, the rollout is going to be gradual. By next year, there will be a complete rollout when it comes to the number of, when it comes to the districts we are targeting to. So after the 150 districts, we'll sit down and reanalyze, and then we'll see certain changes that we could make, certain additions and all that that we could make. Now, my brother made mention of the fact that the district, the community health planning services, sub-district level, the district level, and then so in addition to the preventive and promotive, he made mention of the fact that certain basic things like malaria and all that will need to be taken care of. Now, basic illnesses such as malaria, cholera, basic respiratory tract infections will be taken care of. Okay. So, let's say, for example, cholera.
As you learn for me, we are running out of time. So
let's say cholera.
I'll give you final.
So let's say cholera.
Yes.
Okay, an infant. So I would explain something briefly. Now, children. I'm going to touch on children because they are very vulnerable in society. So children, between the ages of 0 to 20, we call them neonates. From 0 to 1, we call them infants. From 1 to 5, we call them a child. And above preschool, and then we have school-going age and adolescents and all that. Now, with the neonates and infants are very vulnerable. Okay, so what happens is when it comes to cholera, basic things like ORS. I mean, when you've seen the kits of any first aid, you see ORS in it. Okay, are you telling me that when a child is sick and then goes to these health planning services, they're not going to be given ORS to take care of their cholera? No. So we are going to take care of the basic illnesses, which have been found to be major causes of morbidity and mortality in the rural areas. So these are some of the interventions that we are putting in place.
Okay. Right. You know, the interesting bit is that we have the health minister who will be joining right after this to help us appreciate more. But let me give the final word to you on this particular development.
My brother is still in conflict. Right. Because in school, with the community health lectures we took, if he goes back and we all go back to revise our notes, everything we are saying today is already contained in the CHIP idea. So if you go to the community and you identify a child having diarrhea, you bring to the CHIP compound. The policy is already there. If anyone is sick and you do any form of screening and you find the person, NHIA caters for it. I've read to you their own FAQ, which is that if anyone is found with any condition, what then happens? The policy, so-called, is telling you that the person will be referred and care would continue under NHIS.
Right.
The basic vitals you take. If you have NHI and you walk to the facility, do you pay for those vitals? So once again, you are curating part of the concept of the chip compound. You are curating part of the functions of NHI.
Right.
And you are adapting the health promotion concept which NHI introduced in 2024 to warrant every Ghanaian to have opportunity to have basic checks. You are creating part of the wellness clinic concept in our hospitals, in our facilities, bringing them together to say, I'm offering you what already is yours as for free. And then when you are sick, and when you are sick, and whatever you are providing for me for free, you tell me I should go and register NHI before you give me drip. So when I'm sick, when you identify the hypertension,
we need to go,
and you need to check my kidney.
We need to go.
I want to check my kidney. What the hypertension has done to my kidney, you tell me, you know what? My free only ends as checking your BP. If you want to know what hypertension has done to your kidney, please go and register for NHI. Use NHI to go and run your labs. Oh, my hypertension. I need amlodipine. Oh, you need amlodipine. Take care of your hypertension.
Please, you need to go.
Register with NHI and use NHI to get medication.
Assuring
how is this
and stating confidently, without an iota of doubt, that yesterday, hearing these policies being implemented was the happiest day of my life.
Okay. It was the happiest day of Prince's life. Ezekiel believes that clearly this duplication of what already exists. We'll get all the answers for you on this. The man who spearheads the ministry that is championing this, the Health Minister, Kwabena Mintah Kandor, will be joining us right after this break. But gentlemen, thank you so much. It's been really interesting. I'm sure next week we should have both of them on again, and let's talk about other matters as well. We'll be right back. Well, thank you so much for staying with us. This is Hard Talk on GH Today here on GHOne Television with me, Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Well, we're talking about the free primary healthcare policy that was launched yesterday. On Monday, we heard the health minister. He gave us a breakdown as to what the policy entails. And there have been a lot of questions that have arisen from that particular press conference as well as the launch yesterday. So he's here today to help us appreciate the nuances and get to properly situate the conversation on why Ghana needs this at this particular point in time and what really the policy is all about. The Member of Parliament for Dwaboso, Health Minister Kwabena Minta-Kando. Good morning.
Good morning, Joshua.
It's nice to have you here this morning.
Well, it's nice to be here all the time.
And like I say, you are so busy.
In the health sector, every day is emergency.
Every day there's an emergency somewhere. But how has it been for you?
Well, I thrive in a challenging environment. So it gets me on the challenges, puts me on my toes, and the best out of me, by the grace of God, comes.
Interesting. Now let's talk about the free primary healthcare policy launched yesterday. On Monday, we heard you talk about it. Really, what is it all about?
Joshua, sometimes it is good to hear what people don't understand, and then you try to explain.
Right.
There could be other people also trying to do politics with the whole issue. But there are legitimate questions that we need to further explain. Number one, the system as we have at the moment that you, Joshua, would bear with me, has overly been reliant on treatment. Our healthcare system.
Yeah.
It has been overly reliant on treatment. So we are saying that we are moving from sick care to health care, of which the sick care is a subset of the health care.
Okay.
So when you talk about health care, we have the prevention aspect, we have the promotion aspect, and of course we have the curative or treatment aspect. Now, by 2030, a lot of countries on the globe are struggling to attain what we call universal health coverage, which we are left with barely 4 years to get there.
Right.
As I speak to you now, we are at 56% coverage or index of the universal health coverage. We need to get to at least 80%, and we have 4 years to go. Now, countries like Brazil, Thailand, who have attained universal health coverage, made a deliberate effort, a decisive one, to invest first and foremost in their primary health care. Listen carefully. The whole health care you need, 100% health care you need. About 80% of the health care you need is primary health care. 80.
That's significant.
What it means is that if you want a resilient and a robust health care, you must first and foremost invest in the primary health care. I pray and hope that this foundation is enough to build on at this point in time.
Right.
Now, free primary health care by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The freeness for me is even not a game changer. But of course, I will start from the differences between the national health insurance and the free primary health care and Mahama Cares. So, you see, it's a comprehensive health system we are building. Free primary health care, national health insurance, Mahama Care. We are not reinventing the wheels. We are identifying the gaps in the system and then filling the gaps. Listen carefully. Let us not assume. I have realized that there's this assumption that everybody in Ghana is a subscriber to national health insurance. That is wrong. If you start on that premise, it's wrong. We inherited the national health insurance at 57% coverage. Within a matter of 1 year, we've moved it from 57% coverage to 66%. Big work done. That notwithstanding, what it means is that we have about 34% of Ghanaians out of the national health insurance. So if you are a government and you assume that everybody is on national health insurance, so whatever, you are saying is on national health insurance, so no policy should be, taken out of national, you are getting it wrong.
That would be a wrong assumption.
You are getting it wrong. There are a lot of families. If you have about 33 million people, and then about 60-something%, you are talking about around
23,
about 23. So there are a lot of millions of Ghanaians out there cut out. And these are normally found in the rural areas, the underserved areas. So you must have a policy that will drive home equity to be able to capture all these people. Then he says, John Dramani, I'll come to the other preventive and the promotion aspect. Now, the free primary health care, we have 3 legs to it. We have the curative, we have that is the treatment, we have the prevention, and we have the promotion. What we are saying is that, number one, if you are not a subscriber to the national health insurance, you cannot enjoy national health insurance. One difference. Whether or not you are a subscriber to a national health insurance, you will enjoy free primary health care. Do you get a difference? So, about 20 million or 23 million people can enjoy national health insurance.
Right.
But 33 million people will enjoy free primary health care. Is that clear? You see the difference? If you have national health insurance, it is subject to renewal. If it expires, you cannot access health care. Free primary health care doesn't expire. Do you get a difference? Okay, let me go back. Now, we have levels of health care. And any decision and policy we are taking, we think through it. This has been over 1 year policy, engaging stakeholders from GMA to GRMA to media to SSO. So everybody's opinion and input are on board. We didn't want to get to a point where we say healthcare in Ghana is free and we collapse our system. Because a lot of thinking, a lot of actuarial sciences must go into it. So we said, look, we can end it from CHIPS compound, health centers, and polyclinics. Let's end there. With time, we can build on. But to start with, let's end at the polyclinic. So at these areas, let's institute free primary health care with these 3 legs. So that one of the reasons is that we can even divert the traffics at the district hospitals, at the regional hospitals, at the teaching hospitals to this level. Because somebody has malaria, he goes to Kolebu, and there's so much traffic there. Somebody has a diarrhea, he goes to a regional hospital, and there's so much traffic there. But if the person knows that, look, if I go to a CHIPS compound, if I go to a polyclinic, if I go to the health center, it is free. He will go there, and that traffic at the higher level will reduce. And all you need is to identify yourself as a Ghanaian. Now, so at the curative level, if you have, as I've already mentioned, diarrhea, respiratory diseases, malaria, it will be taken care of free of charge. In the national health insurance, your vital statistics are taken only when you are sick and you go to the hospital. Tell me I'm a liar.
Oh, that's true.
As you have national health insurance, have you sat in your home and expect that because you have national health insurance, health professionals will walk to your house and come and take your vitals? Is that correct?
No.
So why can't you appreciate the difference? So, in this case, apart from the curative, we'll move to prevention. We are saying that now about 40 to 45% of our mortalities are attributable to what we call non-communicable diseases. And this is rising steadily. Those days, it used to be old age people who would be hypertensive, and these days, young people, the youth, highly productive wing of our population, are going down with these conditions. But we know that, look, we can prevent that, or we can manage that. So, whether you are sick or not, you will see health workers who will move to your homes, who will move to your workplaces, who will move to markets, lorry parks, and screen people. Look, yesterday, I'll give you a typical example. I don't know if you have heard that story. The first woman, and I'll send you the video, TV3 covered it. The first woman who, after the launch, entered, her BP was 200/101 or so. That's her BP. The first person. Then, I will come and tell you the component of the container-based kiosk. Yes. I'll tell you the full component. Then, they had to call a medical doctor at Ridge through telemedicine. So, in that, inbuilt in the system is telemedicine. You understand? And they asked her, do you have hypertension? She said, yes. Do you take your medication? She says, no, I don't. So they have to. And there's a study to that. In 2021, there was a study that was conducted, and only about 35% of people who are hypertensive know their status.
So the remaining 65
we don't
no
know.
idea.
We walk. And these diseases, they come quietly. They progress quietly. And some of them show no symptoms at all at their early stages. So by the time you realize you are down, and they say you have stroke.
Yeah.
So we are saying that, look, let's move to the houses. Let's invite the people. Let's screen them. We can avoid these conditions. And that will even reduce our wage bill, the cost of treatment, when we're able to prevent them at the lower end.
So it's basically turning off the tap.
Exactly.
At the lower end, so that it does not even flow into the other
We are
ones.
overly focusing on the freeness of it. For me, the freeness, yes, affordability, yes, equity. Because you see, studies have shown that if people don't have money and they are not subscribers to national health insurance, and I've told you that let's not assume that every Ghanaian is on the national health insurance.
True.
They delay, they wait, they manage the symptoms, they go to the drugstore and get medication. By the time they get to the hospital, the condition is worse. And treatment is ineffective. You understand? And so we are saying that let's go down there and start all over again.
Right.
This is how it's supposed to be, but we got it wrong. So let's start it all over again. Now, we think that you cannot be successful in this implementation without getting one, if you say health facilities, one, the brick and mortar matters, the equipment, the basic equipment. As they left it, and we are all talking about national health insurance, studies shows that at the primary level, only 5% of our primary health care, have basic equipment for these things.
You mean
5%.
the facilities?
Yes, the facilities. And even the public ones are worse. It's only 2%. How would you, so if national health insurance is paying something and you go to a place, they don't even have a BP apparatus, they don't even have glucometers and what have you, what are you paying for? And people don't even access it in the first place. You understand? So we are building a system. It's different from doing partisan politics. We are building a system.
And that's why some people have challenges. They say you are not building a system. What you're doing is operationalizing what already exists with the CHIPS compound policy and how it's supposed to be effectively run.
I've given you the instances and differences. Tell me the differences I've established here already exist. You are my host. You have to tell me, Honorable, you are lying. We see the health professionals in our homes all the time.
We don't.
So,
but the argument is that they are supposed to, but they don't.
So we are doing it now. so what's the point? So we are doing it now.
Right.
That is what we are doing. Okay? And so we are building a system that will work for all of us. So we have taken cognizance of the fact that we need the enabling environment. We need the right equipment. So we've started. Now we've procured over 500 million worth of basic equipment. The incubators, the glucometers, the BP apparatus, whatever. So that we are deploying. That this is not the last batch. They will keep coming.
Okay.
They will keep coming. We are also looking at the number of health workers, because you need a lot of especially community nurses to go into the system.
Absolutely, because it's one of the points I'm coming to in terms of personnel who will be now deployed.
So we are ready, and we thought through this program. You understand? So it's not anything we are rushing. No. And when I come to the complication stage that they are saying national health insurance, I'll tell you another one that will. So you see, we have free primary health care, national health insurance in the middle, Mahama cares at the other end. It's a system we are building. So if you are referred and your situation is at a complicated level,
right,
you can be referred to Mahama cares.
So at every stage in healthcare delivery, there is something to cushion the
Exactly.
needs.
That's what we are building.
Okay.
At every stage. So we'll get to a point where we say we have arrived at the universal health coverage. So irrespective of your status, irrespective of your ability to pay, irrespective of your location, you can get quality health care. We haven't gotten there. And that is exactly what we are building. We haven't gotten there. Right. I will be the last person to say we have arrived. So now we are going to do recruitment for the health sector.
Okay.
Physician assistants, pharmacy technicians, pharmacists, allied health sciences, nurses, midwives. We have a huge number at home. So gradually. So this recruitment we are going to do will be guided by the free primary health care. So if we need more community nurses, we will recruit more community nurses to make the program successful. Meanwhile, we have some already in the system. When we finish, when the government has been able to recruit what we can pay, and we finish, and we still think that there are gaps, we will jump to volunteerism. And this is normal with us. I have done national service and I did voluntary service.
Yeah.
It's normal. So we will jump to the backlog. We'll say, okay, people who are ready to do volunteer, come on board. We'll still pay you as your rotational allowances, and you will do the volunteer with you. The next time we are mainstreaming, we are recruiting, you'll be the first point of consideration or priority to absorb you, to mainstream you into the system. You understand? Instead of you to stay home to get rusty, because you see, medicine or health issues are more or less practical. You understand? So it's always good to have your hands on, in order not to forget some of the things you have learned in school. So that is a system.
So the policy as it stands now would also, among others, gradually be dealing with the backlog of health professionals who are currently at home.
Exactly. So I'll come to that again. Now we are introducing other points, and that is again the difference. Other points. So I've told you that the health system, the CHIPS compound, the health center, the polyclinic, that already exists. We are going to retool them. I've told you that.
Yes.
Now moving on. There are other aspects of it that we are bringing on board. One is the kiosk. So I went to inspect some of these kiosks with my brother, Felix Ofosu-Kwacha. He said, what? I thought it was some ordinary container, the way I saw it, the way you're talking about it, but this is a complete health post. It is even nicer than most of our, CHIP compounds we see around it. You should be there to visit. I hope that your producers will get the videos and then project on your screen for people to know. Okay, we have the consulting room. We have an area that will take your vitals. You have the detention room. We have delivery. We have pharmacy. We have the solar. Every kiosk is on solar.
Okay.
So it comes with a solar system. It comes with a borehole. And it comes to the telemedicine.
How is that a kiosk?
Exactly the point Felix Ofosu-Kwacha asked me when we inspected that.
Right.
And those who were at the place yesterday could attest to this. And Mr. President was exceedingly happy to see it. Very, very nice, well-furnished, connected to the telemedicine. We have a solar system. It comes with a, borehole and all that. It's a complete one. Quite apart from that one, what we are bringing new is also that we are gradually, that's why we'll take our time.
Okay.
We are gradually going to also put on the community pharmacies.
Right.
You understand? So the community pharmacies will also be taken. So if within your vicinity, if there's a community pharmacy that has been credentialed, that has been assessed by HEFRA, that can also be part of the free primary healthcare for screening.
Okay.
They are not supposed to give injections. They are not subscribers.
It's just for screening.
For screening. So they will be on it. Now, we are going to also put on board the school, clinics. We are going to convert them into clinics rather than sick bays. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So you see, if you don't understand,
right,
and you ask questions, they are legitimate. But there should be no attempt to confuse the system. We are not saying that, look, we are the last people to say that the national health insurance is not relevant. It is relevant. It is very, very relevant because the free primary health care will take you out to a point. You can't go to Kolebu and say because there's free primary health care, I've come. And I am not on national health insurance, so take care of me. It is in our interest to promote, to project the national health insurance for all of us. And let me make this point clear. In all these structures, I've heard the argument that we are repackaging it and giving it to Ghanaians. What are we repackaged? We already have the existing structures. So, for example, pre-primary healthcare, we've not brought anybody from the skies to come and manage free primary healthcare. Free primary healthcare, properly so-called, will be managed by CHAG, Christian Health Association of Ghana,
okay,
the Ghana Health Service, and the private sector.
Right.
What have you brought to repackage to do certain? Free primary healthcare, as we speak now, we say, look, you know, the National Health Insurance Fund was uncut by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Yes.
And the difference here is that, again, let me tell you the difference. Under the SY administration, the National Health Insurance was capped.
Yes.
So you remember, we have had this argument here several times. The president didn't listen to us at the time. So I'll give you an example. In 2024, the National Health Insurance revenue was around 9 billion, getting to 10 billion. But only 6 billion was allocated to 2024. What it means that the rest was taken away into the consolidated fund and invested in another sector.
Yeah.
You get the argument? His Excellency John Dramani Mahama comes. He said, no way. If we have taken the money for health purposes, all the money must go into health. So we went to Parliament to repeal that law. So now, whatever goes into the National Health Insurance Fund will be used in the health sector. Directly. So, as part of that, it is making the National Health Insurance more solid.
Okay.
You know, so the financing scheme, we have not set up any financing scheme for free primary health care. And get me right.
So the funding is already,
already there. We have approved it in Parliament as part of the National Health Insurance formula for 2026. We are just using our brain and bringing innovations and solving the problems. And Mr. President is leading what we call health sovereignty on the globe, if you've heard it.
Yeah.
So it is charity. It begins at home. He said, well, look, let's invest our monies where it is needed most, and it is healthcare. Let's run with it. You understand?
I do.
So there are. Look, this year, starting from last year, we have an organization we call Gavi. They assist us in our vaccines. They say we are middle income status, so we should exit from Gavi. Last year, we paid $24 million. This year, we are paying $48 million. Next year, we are paying $56 million. The president says that it's a public good, so we must pay.
Oh.
So this is the system we are building.
Okay.
So the money is there. We've done our projections in the 2026 formula. It's been approved by Parliament. We debated this in Parliament, both at committee level, committee of the whole, and the plenary. So it is part of the budget or the formula we have approved. So building on, somebody else may bring another idea. Let's take it on board. All we are building is a resilient and a robust healthcare or health system. If you have your primary, healthcare right, and you have any pandemic or outbreak, it is easy to handle it. When COVID broke out, when we were doing contact tracing, people were even not going to the hospitals and what have you. But even when it comes to vaccinations, it is your primary healthcare system that you use for immunization or vaccination. So it's a very, very important aspect of our healthcare that we are, and all I'm saying, the health professionals in the sector will agree with. That is what is supposed to be the system. But that is not what we have.
Right.
And that is what we want to do.
Okay.
And for example, we've had a lot of stakeholders meeting, and almost all of them are happy with the system. The caveat they keep giving is that the sustainability, let's make sure that our health professionals, look, I can tell you one thing.
Right.
You know, some people don't go to the hospital because of how health professionals handle them.
True.
And you agree with me?
True.
There will be a woman in the village, if he's sick, and you say, go to the hospital, say, this is what we are seeking to solve. So that we will train health professionals, we will talk to them, motivate them to talk well to patients, to clients, to citizens. You don't enter somebody's house because you are going to do a public good without even greeting the person or behaving. We'll train them.
Okay. Because I wanted to find out what checks are in place to
we'll
ensure
train
that
them.
this particular
Some of
is
them,
not abused, and then we realize the full
as for
potential.
abuse, any policy, whilst you are spending sleepless night thinking how you refine it, somebody will also be thinking about how to abuse it.
Yeah.
You will never have a perfect system. But I can assure you, we are not going to drop the ball. You have no idea what we've gone through to get here. If you are coming out with a policy in the health sector, I have more than 90 unions in the health sector. And the interest in the health sector is very high, properly so. Yeah. I mean, and it is justifiable because it's about health. So we've gone through a lot, from even partners, WHO, Africa CDC, everybody's interested. Yesterday, a lot of global players started tweeting when they heard that Ghana, we've launched a free primary health care. You know, so let us never assume that the whole Ghana is on national health insurance. There are people who are even on national health insurance, when their cars expires, even renewing it is a problem.
Yeah.
So we are taking this, we are using this opportunity, taking advantage of the free primary health care to educate the people. So look, your free primary care ends here.
Yeah, at the polyclinic level.
So it is in your interest to be on the national health insurance, so that from the district level to the regional level to the teaching hospital level to the UGMC's level, you can be taken care of. When you cannot afford at the national health insurance level, there's another level that you go, and that is the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, the Mahama Cares.
Right.
So it's a system we are building, and I've heard this argument about, so sometimes when we sit with you guys have the privilege and the opportunity to listen to a lot of views, and you ask us for clarification. I've heard this about whether or not we are going to abandon Agenda 111 and building 350 kiosks. Oh, India, this one you have to explain.
Because
Number one,
you even touched on it briefly on Monday.
Exactly. Number one, the Agenda 111, His Excellency, the President says any project he has inherited must be put to good use. So we are going to continue. Okay. Shortly, to throw a bit of light on it, we have 3 main strategies we are going to implement, and we are thinking through it. Agenda 111, 4.8 billion Ghana cedis has been spent on Agenda 111, and not a single one is in operation. If we had planned well and phased them, the 4.8 billion could have completed more than 20. That is what we don't want to get into. Okay. So how many can we complete? Government will, take care of that. And you see the difference between projects His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo inherited from JDM from 2016, and what we have inherited is that when we're talking about the NMS, Sewua project and those ones, the sources of funding were reliable. It was secured, loans. So when you inherit, you just have to continue because there's money.
The loan is there.
But this case, not a PESWA, it's GHOne. So we now have to plan and think about how we can get money to say, okay, we are completing 10, 20, 30, 40. Then the next, we come to the next level. CHAG, Christian Health Association of Ghana, Pentecost, maybe Catholic, or the churches. They come under the Christian Health Association of Ghana, Ahmadiyya and all that. Yeah. You two come and take some. Equip. Complete and equip and run. Because we already have that relationship with them.
Okay.
We give them their compensation. Government gives them their compensation because it's non-profit oriented. And so we pay their medical doctors, we pay their nurses and all that. We pay their workers. So we can give it to them, finish, because we are not into competition with them. What is important to the ordinary Ghanaian is quality healthcare. Yeah. So finish. That's the third, the second aspect. The third one is the pure private sector. So Joshua, you come. It's okay, I've seen Agenda 1 somewhere. Yeah. I want to finish and then run. You are not running it in Cote d'Ivoire. You are not going to run it in Togo. You are running it in Ghana.
For the benefit of Ghanaians.
For Ghanaians. So what we'll do is that we'll sit with you.
Okay.
Have an agreement. The state has invested so much. You want to take it, finish it, and run. 10 years, 15 years, it reverts back to the state or subject to renewal. If we go by these approaches, we'll be able to finish quite a number of them simultaneously. But if we say Ghana government is going to cough 20 billion Ghana cedis to finish, that's going to be years. And the stages at which they are now will even be deteriorating thinking, planning. So we are not going to abandon Agenda 1.1. Let's drop that one there. Now, why the difference between what we are doing and Agenda 1.1 is that in Agenda 1.1, I sit in the ministry, there is not a single polyclinic as part of the Agenda 1.1. There's not a single health center as part of Agenda 1.1.
Right.
There's not a single chips as part of Agenda 1.1. Did you hear that? So all the Agenda 1.1 project as we have now is district hospitals and above.
Yes.
Did you hear that?
So it does not come to, it doesn't fall within the ambit of primary health care.
Primary health care.
At all.
So we will, I've told you, we will finish them.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't put that kiosk at that lorry park, that market woman who finds it very difficult to even go and do screening because he thinks that he must go to the market. At least when market is low in the market, she can quickly go to the kiosk
and get screened.
And get screened. Breast cancer and all that. Cervical cancer, breast cancer, those, early, they can detect early. And what doesn't fall within the primary health care, like if, for example, what the CHIPS compound cannot do, they can refer you to health center. So the referral system is still in the primary health care.
Okay.
Do you understand? So they have different functions, one above the other. The polyclinic is above the health center and the CHIPS. The health center is above the CHIPS. So the CHIPS is the basic building block.
That's the first point of call.
The first point of call. So the referrals can also be made within that one as well.
Quite interesting.
So it's a system that you and I must contribute, must educate. We are going to go, I'm going to hit the regions.
Right.
I'm going to hit the regions and hit the districts. And I want to canvass everybody to be on board, the media.
Absolutely.
If it works, it works for all of us.
Quite interesting. So how do we also ensure that this policy, which would be free, does not then translate to poor quality delivery?
So I don't think we have a poor quality nurse or poor quality medical doctor. So what I can assure you is that we put all the necessary measures in place. We are providing, before any health professional will be able to give out quality care, you need equipment. So we are providing the equipment.
Okay.
You will not have quality health care because there are no health professionals to do that. We went to Kenya to study their system. In Kenya, they have the volunteer system. But in Kenya, the volunteer system, what the people they are using for their volunteer are not health professionals. So they pick the non-professionals and give them some basic training and use them as volunteers.
Okay.
But in our case, that's not what we're going to do because we already have a huge backlog. So we'll pick out of our backlog those who are prepared. Nobody's going to force anybody anyway. to help us.
So it will be voluntary. Those who would want to join.
Voluntary. It will be voluntary, And so, and we have a system of tracking, monitoring, and any system or any initiative or any policy. And that is why we are not ruling out the whole country at the same time.
You're doing 150?
150 out of the 261. So next year we'll roll out based on our learnings that will come from the 150. Then gradually the sustainability aspect of it. If it gets to a point and we look at our figures, and we think that we can even roll the district hospitals on, we can equally do that.
Right.
So I think that this is just the beginning. We are giving them all the equipment. We are giving them bicycles. We are giving them motorbikes. We are giving them tricycles.
To ensure mobility in these underserved areas.
I believe that your producers can show.
Yes, we'll definitely show all of that, because I saw some of the tricycles earlier.
So these are what will produce the quality healthcare you are talking about.
Right.
You understand? You go to a kiosk.
So this?
Exactly. So this one, basically, the women don't like the bikes, the motorbikes.
Right.
They are very comfortable with them, especially when it's during the rainy seasons and what have you. They like this one better than the motorbikes
as well.
So a lot of these ones will come. You understand? In the continuous development outcomes in this country.
Right.
We'll be able to reduce the maternal mortalities, and our outcomes will be that which all of us can be, proud of, and we can also get to the universal health coverage.
Some have said that if this goes the way it's planned to go, we'll not have issues with no-bed syndrome again.
That is true. That is true, number one, because we'll be able to detect the disease at their early stages before they get to the complication stage that will give you the cause to go to emergency. You understand?
Absolutely.
That is true, because we'll be able to equip our health, our CHIPS compound, our polyclinics, our health centers, so that if there's an emergency, you rush them to those places first. And these things that Ghanaians do with the greatest of respect, if you have any emergency, the person has a CHIPS compound nearby, a health center nearby, or a polyclinic, but you run to Kolebu.
Yeah.
That is unacceptable. If there's any emergency, rush the person to the nearest health facility first. Let them stabilize the person. Let them say, look, this one, you need to go to a higher level. So when I have already told you that the healthcare needs of Ghanaians, the primary health care is about 80%.
Yeah.
So when we get that one right, we are there. Somebody say, hospital. So by the time he realizes that he has high blood pressure, he has stroke already.
So this is healthcare at the doorstep of the Ghanaian.
And this is healthcare, it's not a sick care.
Yeah.
You understand?
I do.
And so when we do some of these things, I believe that, look, sometimes you go to a hospital, and they'll tell you that go and drink more water.
Yeah.
Am I lying? But if you don't go that early, you are going to take medication. But maybe at that point, water can solve your problem for you.
Absolutely.
Maybe they'll tell you, no, do more fruits and vegetables. That's what they'll tell you. They'll tell you, oh no, you have to exercise.
Right.
That's what they'll tell you. You don't need medication. That means that they've detected those diseases at the early stages, and doesn't cost much.
Right.
You just need to change your lifestyle. You adjust a bit. You have somebody whose blood pressure will be very high, but upon advice, counseling, it can drop.
It can drop. Right.
Oh no, rest. And you rest, you realize that it is normal. So let us not trivialize it. I am not so particular about the freeness of it. It's about the reset. of the health system that I'm so much interested in. So if somebody sits here, oh, you are already doing it, then I ask Joshua, has anybody come to your house to check your vitals before? So why is it you are already
Nobody
doing
knows
it?
my house.
So why is it, have you ordinarily walked to a hospital and say, no, today I've come just to check my vitals and walk away? Do we do that?
We don't.
We only do that when we are sick and we go to the hospital and they will take our vitals. And that is supposed to be paid by the National Health Insurance. Is that not the situation? So why are you confusing people? You cannot get that to explain it well. Why are you confusing the people?
Well, I mean, I've seen the facilities, and I've seen the instruments and the equipment, and you are talking about the fact that we are going to have more. Mostly, that's one of the reasons why doctors also don't accept postings to rural communities. What's the state of that?
Retooling is a major policy in the health sector. You know, in the health sector today, we are not holding anything constant. We are working on all the rotten structures, the rotten conditions we have come to meet.
Okay.
Our equipment status is very bad in this country, and if you ask the medical or the health professionals, they will tell you it's bad. So we have taken the primary healthcare aspect and running with it. Now, from the district, in fact, some of these primary healthcare equipment, some of them will be sent to the district hospitals.
Okay.
So we will solve the district hospitals partially. Then we are going to run with the regional and the teaching hospitals. So we are forming what we call SPV, Special Purpose Vehicle.
Okay.
And this is what we are doing. We have realized that government buys equipment for health facilities, and then when the equipment is faulty or obsolete, they still sit and wait for money before they can fix it. And so what we are going to do is that we are going to distinguish, separate the running, the management of hospital equipment from the management of the hospital itself. So the equipment will be run by an SPV, so that we will buy through them, maintain through them, and they will be paid accordingly. So when they use, let me use dialysis machine, if it's my market, I must pay, they will pay to the user. If it is National Health Insurance, they will pay to the user. So you have to maintain it, you have to replace it. And we are opening up to the private sector as well to deal with the SPV. So you, Joshua, you say, I have a dialysis machine. I want to go and put it at, let's say, Confanoche. Then we'll have an agreement with you. You put it there. Then we sign an MOU that you will not unilaterally determine your price. Your prices will be subjected to what we call Fees and Charges Act of Parliament. Your prices will be subjected to National Health Insurance tariff. Your prices will be subjected to Mahama Care tariff. So although you are a private sector, but you cannot exorbitantly
make the unilateral
charge.
decision. Right. Okay.
So your machines will be there. So when they use the machines, the appropriate fund that must pay you directly.
And I'll be responsible
for the maintenance,
of the machine. Okay. Quite interesting.
So there are a lot at the same time. So when we come out to speak, we are coming out to speak to our policies we are implementing. Then we'll go back and work. So at the moment, for example, accessibility. 3 approaches. Mr. President says every district in this country build 2 CHIPS compound every year. So within a year, we have more than 500 CHIPS compound within a year. Correct? Accessibility. Now, we have 16 regions with 10 regional hospitals. Mr. President says, look, we have to build the 6 regional hospitals. So 2026, build 3. So now we are building Western North. We are going to build Savannah. We are going to build OT. And let me use this medium to communicate to the respective regional ministers that I'm still waiting for the documentations on the sites they have shown us. Because this day and age, in those days, the chief will give you the land because it's hospital, free of charge. They will even pay some drinks. Now, years down the lane, family members, relatives will come. you need adequate compensation. And in some cases, they are even garnishing your account and all that. So these days, before we go and build on any land, we need the full documentations on the land. And if they don't bring it on time, we'll communicate to Ghanaians and their regions that they are delaying the project, because we will not start the project without the appropriate documentation on the land.
Absolutely.
And I have already told them, and they all know that. So please, we are waiting for
The
you.
regional ministers.
The regional ministers.
They should present the documentation.
They should present the documentation. And I can assure them,
Right.
if any regional minister who presents his documentation, I'll give that regional minister a maximum of 1 month and we are on site. Maximum.
Wow.
Yes, 1 month and we are on site.
Interesting. Well, Honourable Minister, some time ago you were raising concerns about, again, doctors not accepting postings to certain
That's
areas. Where are we with that assistance?
That's also another thing I came to inherit. Joshua, it's not easy in the health sector, especially if you want to do the work and do it well. If you just want to be part of history and just pass through the system without doing it, it's not difficult at all. But if you want to do the right thing, because anything you come out with, okay, you get a pushback. You must be strong, you must be resilient, you must be focused, you must know what you are doing. Because there are superior arguments to counter what you want to do. And there are brains in the sector that I'm tapping, and I think that if positively harnessed, it will go well for all of us. So with respect to that, I don't like speaking about it, but Ghanaians also need explanation.
Yeah.
We came to meet a situation where today, as I speak to you, we have districts without medical doctors, a whole district, not a single medical doctor. I came to meet the situation. I said, no way, that cannot be. Look, the backbone of our economy has always been the rural areas. They are also producing the highest production of cocoa. And then we say, because there are not enough medical doctors, we don't have any medical doctor there. It's not acceptable. And we have 50% of our medical doctors in Ghana in Greater Accra alone. If you add Greater Accra and Ashanti, we are hitting 60 to 70%. So what I did was that, okay, my first posting of medical doctors, I'll concentrate on the districts, and get me right, districts, not communities or not CHIPS compound or health centers, districts. So I concentrated on the district hospitals. So I'll give you some statistics. In 2024, the data or the records I have was that there are 8 regions that are classified as underserved regions. The OT, the Western North, the Savannah, 8 regions. In those regions, which of course you can count more than 50 to 60 districts, only 12 medical doctors accepted postings to 8 regions. Wow. I said, no, this situation cannot continue. So, equity. So we started posting the medical doctors, and we had a strong pushback that those places are rural areas, they cannot go, roads are not good, and all that. Yes, I understand. Some people have been in the cities all their lives. He's gone to invest in the city and all that. Telling him to go to, it's a very difficult task, I understand. And so, but from where I sit, I must take those difficult decisions. And so I started to move around those regions to engage the opinion leaders to say, look, we have to give our people, our medical doctors, a befitting accommodation if you want me to post medical. So when I went, I've gone to OT, I've gone to Savannah, they were willing and ready to support. Some of them, the district assembly, the DCs, the MPs, some of the MPs are even giving free accommodation, a befitting one, of course. In fact, some districts said, look, we even give them fuel allowance. Some districts said, we even put a pickup at their disposal so that on weekends, if they want to drive around because of the terrain. So we have that. Of course, government is also working on a package, but because we have not concluded, I can't put it out there.
Okay.
I cannot, I won't do that. So, back and forth, the 8 regions in 2024 that had 12 medical doctors, as I speak to you now, we have 100 medical doctors for the 8 regions.
Wow. Wow. That's a huge jump.
But even with that, we are not done. There are people who have up till now not accepted the postings. So they've not reported. And so we are going to deprive them of that opportunity. And then we'll open it up and advertise those vacancies. So if you're a medical doctor and you even completed yesterday and you are fully qualified medical doctor and you will want to go to that place, we'll give you the opportunity to go.
Oh, okay.
So that is the next phase after the free primary healthcare and those ones. Maybe next week we'll issue statement to that effect. And so we are making progress. And I have spoken to my directors, my regional directors and all that nobody should make any change, unfortunately. And we are bringing incentives like number of years, we are reducing the number of years you can go to the college and all that. We are thinking through all those ones. Okay. There are a lot of incentives we are pushing, but you see, we are all spending from a certain, pocket we call the national pairs. So you say you want Mahama cares, they say take. Within 1 year, you have it. You say you want free primary health care, they say take. You say you want to build regional hospitals, they say take. You say you want to retool the facilities, they say take. You say you want to pay the health professionals who were recruited before you came, they say, okay, we've paid. Arrears, they say, okay, we'll pay. They say, give me the opportunity to recruit more, they say take. So you see, you have to also be strategic and know that although I agree, if you ask me, the most important and the critical ministry is a health ministry, but it is not the only ministry.
Absolutely.
You understand? So we have to take it one at a time.
Right.
This is just a year. All the things I'm telling you about, you may think that maybe I have been in the office for more than 4 or 5 years, but we are talking within a year. A year and say a month or two. And that is the work we have done so far.
Okay.
Maybe to wind up with the no bed syndrome.
Yes.
We have a lot. If you give us 5 hours, we will not finish talking
because,
about what...
the medical supplies at the ports
Exactly.
as well.
Exactly.
So much.
We have a lot to talk about. Since you've mentioned that into the air, let me treat that out. I had a very strong position on the medical supplies. You remember when I was a ranking member. So when I came, that was the first thing I started doing, dealing with them. We had hundreds of containers at the ports, and I cleared everything from 2024. Some of them were even dates in 2023. So I cleared everything. But this particular one beat my radar. And I thought it had already been cleared. Not knowing the officer in charge hit a rock, he hit a snag. He was supposed to come back to me.
Oh.
And he didn't come to me until it was brought to my attention, some way, somehow. And it's been cleared. And that officer has been queried. Because I don't take that thing for granted.
Because you were really strong on that.
I was very strong. So there's nothing, I don't think. So for now, it's been cleared. I can show you the particulars when, I think 3 days ago or so, when my procurement officer sent me that, now the Ministry of Finance and the GRA have approved everything and they are going to clear it. So we've expedited action within a matter of 1 week, and we are working on it. And anything that comes to my attention, I don't joke with it. People who are very close to me know how I work. And so if you want to bring any donation, all you need to do is that don't wait till the things arrive at the port before you draw our attention.
Okay.
So what you do is that you come and consult the ministry. You consign the things to the ministry. You bring the bill of lading in advance. So we start working on them before they even arrive.
Right.
So by the time they get to our ports, we have already cleared everything, and we can facilitate the clearing, and that helps all of us. Absolutely. So that one, I think that it's something I had very strong position on. So immediately it came to my attention. I can show you my correspondence with the finance minister unofficially, and then quickly we have worked on that. So it beat my radar.
Absolutely.
And you know how the ministry works. Every director and what he's responsible of. So if there's something happening and they don't get back to you, it will be very difficult for you to know. Today I'm even inviting UNDP people to have some kind of conversations with them.
Okay.
No bed
syndrome. You said you wanted to talk about that.
Okay,
briefly,
right. So the no bed syndrome is something also we came to inherit. You don't have to lament. You don't have to complain. You must find solutions to it. My brother Charles's issue is also under investigation, chaired by Professor Bedu Akosa. The report I hear is almost ready, and we will publish it for everybody to hear what is in the report. And I have assured the public that I will not hesitate to implement any recommendations that will be found in the report.
Okay.
And before that, we have about 3 main strategies we are adapting to minimize the no-bed syndrome. As for spillovers, it will always happen. Even in advanced countries, you have spillovers, but as and when they come and how you handle it is always the problem. We are looking at using the IT approach, where we have visibility on all beds from the regional hospitals to the teaching hospitals. So even in my office, I'll be able to have visibility on where there are empty beds and all that.
Right.
We are setting up the center, we call it a command center. We are setting up the center at Rich Hospital.
Okay.
So everybody will feed into the system. That is one angle. We are looking at expanding the emergencies at all hospitals, the existing ones. We are looking at also identifying another hospital, the whole hospital for emergency purposes around the Bema camp area. So these are what we are adding on to minimize the no-bed syndrome. But that notwithstanding, which of course I've had a terrible feedback, but I still stand by that position, that it is better to treat an emergency on the ground than turning emergency away to go and die.
Yeah.
I have not said that it is better and fantastic to treat patients on the ground. You've seen the comparison I've made.
Yeah.
I still stand by it. There are people who disagree with me, but of course, opinions are like noses.
We all have ours.
And I will not purport to be establishing that we have it all figured out in our health system now. It's not true. We still have challenges. We will not have our full complement. But what is important is that we'll make maximum use of what we have already. That is important.
Okay.
We have challenges. We've made progress. But then I will count on my, fantastic and wonderful health professionals to continue to sacrifice for Mother Ghana. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, and before we go on Charles's matter, you mentioned that the report is not completed yet, but we've heard in some quarters that there have been interdictions.
Yes, that's correct.
That's correct.
That's
there
correct.
have been interdictions.
Yes, there's been interdictions, and that is why I made mention of the fact that I will not hesitate to fully implement the recommendations, and that's why I want to end.
Absolutely. Well, Honorable Mr. Thank you so much for coming.
Yes,
It's
sir.
always a pleasure having you in the studio.
I know. It's also a pleasure. I get opportunities. Sometimes we don't listen to some of these things.
Exactly.
We get to the office and we are swallowed up.
Yeah.
We are engulfed with a lot of work. Now, by the time I get to the office, there's a long queue.
Waiting for you.
Yes.
I don't
So
envy you
sometimes
at
when
all.
we come
Yeah.
and you tell us, you ask us these relevant questions, there are people who, when somebody closes his eyes and pretend to be sleeping, it is very difficult to wake the person up. But if somebody is legitimately sleeping, okay, you tap the person, is easy. So there are people who do not understand issues that they want explanation. But there are people who national health insurance, you are reinventing the wheel. Has anybody come and said because you are national health insurance, my baby take you BP?
Well, congratulations to you once again.
Thank
That's
you.
the Honorable Minister for Health, Kwabena Mensah Kano. He's also the MP for the good people of Dwaboso, helping us appreciate the primary health care policy and then other issues surrounding the health sector. He said, and we all know that sector, Charlie, so much.
You know,
to do with.
I can't pay us now.
Quite exciting. Well, we'll take a breather, but before we take that break, let's celebrate some birthdays. So those celebrating their birthdays today, happy birthday to you. This one says, on your special day, I'm reminded of how lucky I am to have you as a friend. Here's to another year of adventures and laughter and making memories together. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to my beautiful sister Nana Enima Badie the First, Omankra Dohima of Gumwa Mampong, wishing her years filled with love, long life, and prosperity. May all her heart desires come to pass. And it's from Theophilus of AYA Herbal Hospital. Much love, sis, he adds. Happy birthday, dear Vanessa. Today is all about celebrating the amazing person you are. Your kindness, strength, beauty, and wonderful heart make life brighter for everyone lucky enough to know you. Thank you for being such a caring and genuine friend. I pray this new year brings you endless joy, success, love, good health, and all the beautiful things you deserve. May your dreams come true and your smile never fade. And it's from Jasba Condomson. Happy birthday to you, our lovely daughter, Siam Mbung Ibrahim. May Allah guide and protect you as you celebrate your 3rd birthday today. It's from your parents, Mr. and Mrs. Mbung. Happy birthday to the woman who showed me what a faithful life looks like. You are a light in my life, and I pray this birthday brings you rest, joy, and everything you've prayed for. Happy birthday, Mausu, from your Big Joe and the siblings. And this one, happy birthday to a true princess, Adira Akofa Nyakpo. Thanks for bringing great joy into our lives. May you grow in the light and love of Christ. We love you, baby girl. And it's from your daddy and your mommy to you, wishing you a happy, happy, happy 1st birthday. Happy, glorious birthday to you, Nanaya Rita. I love you so much. Thank you for always being there, growing together and forever. From your husband, Nesta Mauko, to you, Nanaya Rita. Happy birthday, Ifiasewa Braketu. Your life is just about to pick up speed and blast off into the stratosphere. Wear a seatbelt and be sure to enjoy the journey. Happy birthday to you. Also, if it's your birthday today, happy birthday to you. Wish you Godspeed and pray his blessings upon your life. Let's take a breather and return with more conversations for you. Our next conversation. I'm excited to host 2 people from the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, precisely from the Christ Family Congregation in Asylum Down. And I have Reverend Engineer Kofi Asamoah Ankama, who is the minister in charge of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, Christ Family Congregation, Asylum Down. He's also here with Enoch Osewus, who is Public Relations Officer for the 35th Anniversary Committee. Gentlemen, once again, welcome.
Thank you, Joshua.
Nice to have you this morning.
Nice to have you too.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So let me start with you, Reverend. 35th anniversary.
Yes.
What is it all about?
Well, 35 years is worth celebrating.
Absolutely.
I'm just reminded that 35 is 10 years after 25. So if you have celebrated 25, you evaluate what has happened 10 years later. Now, our theme is
Building,
yes, no, before that, there's the
building the foundation already laid.
Yes, building on the foundation already laid.
Celebrating our
heritage. Our foundation comes all the way back from almost 200 years when the first missionaries landed here from Basel. And then they built the church, and it's our 10. Asylum Down was built or was started 35 years
ago.
So on that heritage, and on the heritage of the one in Asylum Down, we are finding out how we can build or continue to go. How we affect the community and affect the individuals in the church. So yes, what are we going to do for the community and in the nation? What are we going to do for the members and ourselves? At the end of it, what are we going to do to praise the Lord who has brought us this far?
Amazing. 35 years. That's a good long time for a church to exist, because I've seen churches that have started and in less than 10 years, they're nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
And so for you, how important or how crucial is it that you get to mark this 35th anniversary?
Thank you, Kodjo. It's a big celebration for us, like our Reverend said. 35 years is not an easy feat. Asalam Down is a small community which gained its name from psychiatric hospital. The direction was that when you're coming to this town, it's just below the psychiatric hospital. So that's how the Asalam Down came about. So in a way, we are all crazy for Christ.
Absolutely.
So we are going crazy with this 35th anniversary. It's marking our spiritual growth as a church, our community with the church, how we've given Christ to the church, and then the community also giving back to the church. We have some programs lined up, a year-long program that's already, we have the first quarter already gone. We started with a revival in January, and then we marked the revival with a Thanksgiving called Ahaya. It was a very beautiful Sunday, all white, and it was all about music. We praised, we danced to the glory of God. And then it continued with the Children's Week, where we organized a Bible quiz. You see, as Christians, our foundation is the Bible. And it was beautiful to know that this quiz was organized throughout the entire sect of the church, which is the Children's Service, the GHOne, YPG, Women's Fellowship, EAF, and the Men's Fellowship. We had the GHOne coming first and the Children's Service coming second. And it was beautiful because a church without the youth grounded in the Word means that it has no future. So for the year-long program, it's much. We'll talk about it, but for now, I would say we are happy to be here to tell the world that we are 35 and we are welcoming them to join us in the celebration.
Interesting. So I saw some pictures. I'm sure that was from the quiz. And for you, Reverend, how important, or would you say, how relevant is the church to a community, especially for a church that has been in the community for 35 years?
Great. So you want to affect the community. So what do they need? They need a gospel, but they also need physical things. In the past year and more, we each year have organized health talk, and health screening programs. So people can come in, cervical cancer, breast cancer, the men checking their prostate, and then and things like that. So they can be sure that they are healthy, because a healthy community is a wealthy community. And we are not only talking about the scriptures. So from there, we also do some of the community evangelism. We've been having crusades around the Asalam Down roundabout, where it's a congregating spot for people to really come. And then we've also supported the different people in school so that they can be sure that they can go to school. You must keep that person in school. An educated person has a brighter future. Yes. And you add education to the gospel, then you are really preparing someone who can influence the society much better. Otherwise, as they say, you raise a bomb.
I like that. And raising people is very crucial. So I want to find out from you, Enoch, how are the young people warming up towards the 35th anniversary? It's already started. I'm sure you mentioned the programs that have already come, but there are more programs that are lined up. How are the young people showing the enthusiasm towards the celebration?
Thank you, Kodjo. I would say that any culture that does not celebrate their heritage, it means that they have nothing for the next generation. Presby is a church with a rich culture. Like Papa said, we are 200 years in Ghana. And like you also said earlier on, it's not easy to even be 10 years. So we are trying to celebrate the pioneers of the church and then highlight the feats that they have done for Christ. Presby is the church, but Christ is the mission. So the programs that are lined up are geared towards their spiritual upliftment, their community engagement, and then other social life engagement. For now, like I said, the Children's Service Week, we have the Bible quiz. And then during the GHOne week, we have what we call the Ghana month. Probably there'll be some pictures showing. We went all Ghana, we went all Ghanaian. We celebrated the rich culture of Ghana. And we saw the hype that the youth came with. They came in their nice traditional clothes. We did some nice Ghanaian dances from all over the regions, 16 regions. And now the programs that are lined up, we have this coming Sunday, we'll be launching the Young Adults Fellowship Week.
Okay.
And then within the week, we are trying to get the youth to understand what we call investment, investing in your future, be it young, be it old. And we have a program that is captioned Investing for a Stress-Free Pension. Probably Papa will better appreciate what we are talking about. But not only Papa, if you are a young person, you are always working towards your future.
Absolutely.
And then we have big guys coming in. We have Mr. Kodjo Mensah, the CEO of Data Bank. He'll be the main speaker for the event. So if you have personalities of this caliber coming, you know very well the youth are going to be pumped and packed. And then we have Mr. Joseph Odami, who is a financial guru. He comes from one of our sister churches at the Raka Ascension. Aside that, we'll be having other health talks geared towards aging gracefully. We always pray for long life, but long life without good health, my friend, is just a hassle.
I like that. It's just a hassle if you have long life, and then you have to depend on people. Sure. You cannot even just walk and all of that. So, Papa, as you're running up the conversation, I want you to speak to the people out there why they need to be a part of this 35th anniversary celebration. Presley says what? That they all may be one. Wow.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I remember that.
Yes. Beginning with you, a product of our education.
Exactly.
That's right. Now, apart from what we do outside, even internally, we want to be sure that we have a year-long celebration. Everybody must benefit. Everybody must grow spiritually. And everybody must gain from what we are investing. So as Enoch said, we have been talking about children's service, young, junior youth, and all the graduations are there. The other things we'll do for the church, there's family life, marriage, and people getting staying in the marriage, having the children and raising them so that they can. Okay. Then we have the adults, and they must also be fed, like you were saying. Health is an important thing for them. Investments an important thing for them. So the future is well guided and guarded. And then we know when you come to a certain age, you get confused as to what will I do? What can I become? So there will be some career month so that we can help the young people make great selections. And then when they've made great selections in what the future can be, when we invest in them, we are sure that. So if we are doing all of this, it's not only the church that's going to gain, the community is going to gain.
Absolutely.
So when we invite them, they should come in. We have already said we take steps outside to do some programs, health, and then evangelism.
Yeah.
We necessarily, as part of our 35th anniversary, must also have a baby. At 35 years of any man or woman's life,
you should be shooting something.
Yes, you have become a parent, going to have children.
Absolutely.
We have one child in Japatra, in the eastern region.
Okay.
It's time to consider to have a second.
Another baby.
Yes.
Fantastic.
So we should be able to step out and have some people come to know the Lord, grow a community. Japatra was completely a place where people would not even go and preach the gospel or live there. But we have gone and lived there, lived there. And we have tried to practice what Paul preached. Go minister to them, stay with them, groom them. So now we have a church that is well built, and we are going to add a school. We are going to make sure that the community gains. Right. We've given them borehole systems and things like that. So we can replicate this from the experience we have in another community. And that's all part of what we should be doing. Absolutely. But come home, everyone who will be part of this would know that we are growing in the Lord. We are growing closer and closer to the Lord Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
His example is most important for us. Knowing the Bible and living by it, his blueprint, is very important for us. And then exemplifying this in our everyday life, whether we're in the market, we are in school, we are at work, we are at play, we must show we love Jesus Christ. And then finally, brandish the Presbyterian heritage.
The Presbyterian heritage. All right. Thank you so much. But briefly, finally, Enoch, your final words too.
My final words.
Yes.
I would say that the whole celebration, as Papa said, is geared towards evangelism and then helping spread the word. We as a church, we started in a classroom.
Yeah.
And God being so good, we are almost to a higher level of our building that we are building and we are putting up. So this anniversary is also geared towards raising funds to finish the building, so we move and then finally enter our church.
Okay.
Two, like we said, we are giving back to the community. We got our name from the Psychiatric Hospital Asylum. So one of our main programs that we'll be doing during our Founders Day in September is that we are gathering resources to go and support the Accra Psychiatric Hospital.
Right.
So we are calling on everybody, we are rallying on everybody. Come join us, let's give to the church and let's give to the community as we celebrate our 35th anniversary.
Fantastic. That's Enoch Osewusu, Public Relations Officer for the 35th Anniversary Committee of Christ Family Congregation of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana. And of course, you also have Reverend Engineer Kofi Asamoah Ankama, who is the minister in charge of the church. They are 35 years old, a lot older than a lot of people I'm seeing in the studio. And so, yes, like the Presbyterians always say, that they all may be one. We need to be one with them to celebrate this milestone. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll be a part of it as well. Well, that's it for the show this morning. It's been an interesting run. Thank you so much for doing the watching. God willing, tomorrow, same time, we are here for God and Country. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Have a lovely morning.